Yo, what's going on everybody? This is Psyche here today, and today we're going to be playing all of the former S-tier survivors. Guys, there's a lot of them, but it is the IDV anniversary, so I thought, hey, why not we go through all of the former best survivors that have been out in this game. They have been the best for a lot of different reasons, and today I'm excited to play with you guys, show them to you all the best survivors that, as long as I've been playing this game, I've been playing this game since Season 1, so I know all the metas that there were in this game, who were the best survivors, who were like the survivors that you would just auto-pick in rank, because they were just that good, ranging from kiters, rescuers, supporters, even decoders, which nowadays, the last few years, there has never really been like an amazing decoder that you just auto-pick. Even lawyer, which was auto-picked for a long time, I would never consider like an S-tier character, just because of the fact that he's still map-dependent, and a lot of hunters still destroy lawyer at the end of the day. Like, he needs time to build up his ability, even at his peak, and so S-tier survivors would be like survivors that I would consider like these would be auto-picked. Like, almost every single match you would see these survivors, and they always perform consistently well, and there's good reason to back it up. It's not like dependent on them not getting found or anything like that. They just perform well. When they get chased, they do well. When they rescue, they do well. When they support, they do well. And when they decode well, which, like I said a long time ago, there used to be a survivor who did that consistently, but now not so much anymore. There are a lot of these survivors. We got like over 20 of them that I want to cover today, so we're going to try to get as many as we can in today. On the alt account, but I have a feeling we're not going to get a lot of matches in on the alt account. We'll definitely get a lot of matches on rank, but I thought we could start a little bit sooner. Maybe we'll get a faster match on rank. After this, I'll switch to rank, because the way matchmaking works, for those who don't know how matchmaking works, if you haven't played a match at all, like today or like in the last few hours, the way matchmaking works is it gives you priority, and the estimated time is usually pretty accurate. But the more matches you play, the longer and longer it's going to take to find a match, because you've already been given priority, you've already been found a match very quickly, and so the game kind of gives priority to those who haven't already played yet. So we'll find a match very quickly in quick match, and then right after this I'm going to switch to a rank match, and then hopefully it'll give us priority there. But anyway, the first survivor we're going to be covering today is Thief. Thief used to be the S-tier survivor kiter back then, especially when you start off playing. There were only 2 kiters that you could choose from, and only 1 rescuer that you could choose from. So if you're going to be a rescuer main, you literally only had 1 survivor to pick. But if you were going to play kiter, you had 2 survivors to choose from. You had Magician, which we will be playing later, and he got Terror Shock back then in his 1, and he only had 2 illusions, and a lot of different reasons why he was way worse than he is today. But Thief used to be S-tier. So why was Thief S-tier a long time ago? It's not because of his flashlight. His flashlight was one of the worst items in the game. They have heavily buffed the flashlight since then. But the reason Thief was so good back then is because there was no other kiters. There were just no other good kiters in the game. But, and more seriously, Thief had a 15% vault bonus that he does not have anymore. He used to be the 2nd fastest vaulter in the game, right behind Forward. Can you believe that? Thief was right behind Forward in the fastest vaulting characters. And they didn't do it to nerf Thief. In fact, it was to buff Thief, because many years later, Thief was not S-tier, and they did that as a buff, I'm assuming, which was a terrible buff, because any good survivor already knows how to vault without ever getting a slow vault. But anyway, back to the point. Back then, it's actually appropriate that we're facing this hunter, because back then the best hunter in the game was Clown. So the key to surviving was fast vault speed. Thief had 15% fast vault speed, and the best hunter in the game was Clown. So the biggest key was using your fast vault speed to quickly go over windows and pallets, so that when he goes around them, he wouldn't be able to catch up very quickly. Or hit you, I mean. Obviously, he would catch up quickly, but he wouldn't be able to hit you. That was the whole idea back then. That was what made Thief so good, but then, honestly, the biggest reason why Thief was so good was just simply because there was not a better survivor. When better survivors released, Thief fell off, unfortunately. But back then, there was not a lot of kiters. There was Magician, Coordinator, and Thief. These were your best 3 survivors when the game first came out. And yes, back then you could pick duplicates. So you did have 2, sometimes 3 Thieves on the same team. Obviously, these are survivors who know what they're doing. Assuming this is the top level, you would just see 2 or 3 Thieves. If no one knew how to play Magician, you would see 3 Thieves. Because that was just going to be the best survivor against Clown. There was not a better survivor back then. So what made him fell off? What made Thief fall off? There were just better survivors that came after Thief. And so, in an attempt to make Thief better, the devs have reworked his flashlight to actually get rid of Hunter abilities. And they made it so that he got rid of his 15% faster vault speed and gave him the ability to never slow vault. So you see here, without even moving my joystick, I can fast vault no matter what. This is a terrible this is a terrible buff. This is not a buff, this is actually a nerf to Thief. And then since today, they still haven't changed it. But this was, I'm sure this was an attempt to buff Thief, because when they did this change, Thief was nowhere to be seen anymore. Thief was gone. Thief was long gone when they did this change. So I'm assuming when they did this change, they assumed it would be a buff to Thief, but it was actually a nerf because a good survivor already knows how to never slow vault. I have a whole video on how not to slow vault. I have a fast vault guide, so that you never have to worry about slow vaults. Even as Thief, even when I play Thief, sometimes I forget about it, and I just do what I do to fast vault as any other survivor, because it doesn't take that long to fast vault. It just takes like a little bit of a spin and you'll get a fast vault. It's not like Dead by Daylight where it's really hard to get a fast vault. By the way, I do want to mention, you can still get a slow vault if you walk. So you don't have to give like a noisy vault. You can still quietly vault. That is worth mentioning if you guys are wondering. But yeah, that was not a buff. That was actually a nerf, because today I would still rather have 15% vault speed. Because even if you got a slow vault, 15% faster vault means that a slow vault was like a regular survivor's fast vault. So by all means, it was definitely a nerf. But since then, I have picked up Thief again because of how many great buffs they have given Thief over the years. And there's more to him than just his vault speed nowadays. He's a lot more to him. There's a lot more to him than what he used to be. But back then, he was the best character because A, he vaulted fast against Clown, and B, there was no better survivor. And those were the good times. I definitely missed those times back when Thief and Magician and Coordinator were the best survivors. And like I said, it's funny that we're facing Clown, but today the Clown strategy as Thief is completely different. It's nowhere close to what it used to be. Back then it was all about vaulting fast. Nowadays, Thief doesn't have faster vault than other survivors. In fact, you are better off canceling the dash. Since then, the devs have added the ability to cancel Rocket Clown dash. That ability now allows you to stop a clown from hitting you. So you don't even need vaults anymore. You can just go in a straight line, use the flashlight on the hunter, and his ability will be canceled before he hits you. But not if he has fast speed rockets. So that only works if he doesn't have already full presence rocket. So he's still a good survivor, but for a long time he was really garbage because his flashlight, even though they added a buff later on to remove. Ooh, I just kind of like glitched in there for a second. Even though they added the ability to remove hunter abilities as Thief, they did not make it so that he can always remove them. You have to be looking at their face. So if the hunter just held their ability and walked backwards without their face looking you, you would just not you would just straight up not cancel their abilities. It was awful. It was really bad. It was completely pointless. I'm assuming this guy's not going to predict Flywheel. Let's see. That was really bad. That was really bad. That's my one complaint with Flywheel, is that when you try to spin to turn around, the Flywheel is on a slight delay, unfortunately. So even though I was facing him, the Flywheel was on a delay. Are we even going to get this rescue? Ooh, that was a really bad pop. We need him to hit the chair. We do make him hit the chair. Can I remove his abilities here? I'm going to die here. We're just going to stay in basement here so our teammate can escape. A little bit annoying that the way Flywheel works is that there is like a delay, unfortunately. There's a little bit of a delay when you turn around. So even though my character was turned around, the Flywheel doesn't detect that all the way yet. I mean, you could look back at the replay, but I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, you try to turn around, you try to do a quick spin, but for some reason the Flywheel's like a little bit behind. So it's alright. We still made him hit the chair, which is hilarious. A little bit of a slow pop. We'll still get the tie here. But yeah. We're going to switch to rank mode now, and hopefully we'll get a match in the estimated wait time, whatever the estimated wait time is. Not like double estimated wait time. And hopefully it'll give us priority because now we're in a different mode. It is going to take about 3 minutes. I don't think it'll take more than that. Unless like it remembers that you played quick match, so it won't give you a fast rank match. So we'll see. To say rank, we have a lot of survivors to cover, so I'm starting a little bit early. I can't play rank on my main account right now. That was a quick match, but it really doesn't matter. Like quick match, a rank match, guys, this is a low tier account. It's not really gonna matter. Yeah, I'll count it as a tie. I'll count these matches as on the win score. But yeah, now we awkwardly wait because we gotta wait on the next match. So overall, there have been like a lot of good survivors in this game. Like a lot of good survivors, but survivors I would not consider like auto pick. Like for example, when they buffed Explorer and they reworked him, Explorer was great, but I wouldn't count him as an S tier survivor because you wouldn't want to play him on certain maps. There were survivors like, I don't know, there are survivors right now like Embalmer, which are good, but he's risky to play on a first kite basis because you don't have an ability to start with. You know, even if you have Coffin later in your kite to a good area, most hunters are going to have lots of presence by then, so they'll have multiple abilities to take you down with, which isn't normally a big deal with a lot of survivors, because usually one of your abilities often counters a multiple of the hunters, because a lot of the hunter abilities are tied into one. But if you don't have any ability to deal with any of them, then a single ability will be much more powerful than had they been at no presence. But regardless, survivors like Embalmer, Explorer, they are good survivors, but I would not count them as S tier because they're not what I would go for like just a guaranteed like 3 Cypher Kite. Not guaranteed because you got to play well, but for like a reliable 3 Cypher Kite for a reliable rescue or something like that. For example, First Officer, another survivor where it's like, yeah, he's good. He's good. He was trash when he first came out, but even when they reworked him, I still would not play him because I just feel there are more reliable rescuers. He's great in tournaments against Go-Man, against Shadow, you know, because he counters those hunters. They are the S tier hunters. But in a ring match, we're banning those hunters, so it doesn't really make sense to play First Officer. It would be much better to play something like Gravekeeper. It would be much better to play something like Mercenary. Nowadays, I feel like Knight is the best rescuer that you can go, since he can have built-in tide turn and also a kite build, which is very important nowadays since rescuers do often get chased. So just like another survivor, just ensuring you get a 3 Cypher Kite essentially, kind of like the old Mercenary back with 5 elbow pads, though you can still 3 Cypher Kite pretty easily, even with 3 elbow pads. So we should get a match probably right about now, I'm assuming. I'm assuming FO versus Smiley Face. Well, when they buffed First Officer and they reworked him, Smiley Face was nowhere to be seen anymore. You know, he's nowhere close to as good as he used to be. But that was because there was just no better hunters. You know, you're never going to see Clown as popular as back in Season 1, because in Season 1 there was just no good hunters back then. That's why Clown was so popular, because there was just not a better survivor. Similar to Thief. Thief didn't actually have a very good ability. He just had good stats to deal with the best hunter at the time, which was Clown. He had the best stats. Maybe not better than Perfumer, which is what came after Thief and what replaced Thief. But he had good stats given the time and the meta. So today you will still see Clown. Obviously Clown has only gotten buffed. He did receive like a Wind Wings nerf a long time ago, so that he doesn't recover so fast from Wind Wings. But for the most part, it's mostly buffs to Clown. But he's just never going to be as strong or as popular as he used to be because A, Flywheel, and B, a lot of survivors can stun him, get him out of rocket. Even though he gets his pieces back, even though he's on a shorter cooldown, that's still time out of your chase that you are wasting. And so it can work, especially if you have good game sense and you know when to leave your target. But it does rely on you being extremely talented with Clown. And then you can still pull off Clown victories, especially with all his buffs over the years. Anyway, the next survivor we're going to be playing is Magician. Magician, again, just like Thief, was the best survivor that you could pick. Now, the thing about Magician back then is that he was so good because Clown was a hunter, but he's, again, just like Clown, he has only received buffs since he came out, because after Clown disappeared, Magician became not so relevant. Thank you so much, by the way, to Samkiv for the €5. Nico told me I could send money here. Don't mind me. Thank you so much, Samkiv. Who is Nico? Oh, Nico's cringe. Thank you so much, man, for recommending them, I guess. But anyway, Magician used to be way worse back then, but he was still S tier. Why? Because there was just no better survivor. You know, it's funny because relatively speaking, what can be the best depends on what else exists. You know, if nothing else better exists, then they are the best character, you know? No one ever thinks that, like, oh, there's going to be something better than Thief or Magician, because at the time, you can't possibly imagine something else because there was nothing else that existed that was better than them. But back then, Magician was way worse. Magician only had 2 illusions. That should already tell you something. Magician, when he used an illusion, only gave you 30% speed buff. Nowadays, it's 50%. So almost double. He now also gets a speed buff when he gets his illusion hit. That did not happen before. Most importantly, if you were new to Magician, and this is why so few people used Magician, if you failed your illusion and you got hit in your illusion, you got Terror Shocked. Yes, even as Magician. So that would happen if you had a novice Magician going against Clown and the Clown would outplay him, go around the illusion. If you're not a good Magician, you're getting Terror Shocked half the time. I think the biggest reason why you never saw more than one Magician, like something you could ask is like, Psyche, well, what if the whole team knows how to play Magician? Why not they don't go like 1 Coordinator, 3 Magician? Because the best rescue, by the way, the best rescuer was Coordinator at the time, so there was literally no other rescue you could pick. But why pick Thief if Magician has a better counter to the ability? I'll tell you why. For starters, he only had 2 illusions, so he can only counter 2 dashes. You couldn't walk through your illusion, so really if you went around your illusion, you might still be in trouble. But most of all, this is the biggest reason why you never saw more than 1 Magician on a Survivor team. Magician used to take 100% longer to rescue. So imagine our Survivor right now. Who's the slowest rescuing Survivor right now? Fairlady. I can't remember how slow Fairlady rescues, but Magician, when he was being rescued by anyone, it took twice as long. It took 100% longer to rescue Magician than any other Survivor in this game. So that's why you never wanted more than 1 Magician. Because if you were against Clown and Clown hits you with a Rocket Dash, you might not even make the rescue in time if you didn't know how to cancel the hit animation. If you didn't know how to cancel the hit animation, it would actually take longer to rescue Magician than before Clown can swing at you again. So a lot of coordinators in that situation will kind of shoot their gun early, just so they can rescue the Magician in the first place. And that's why you would just never see more than 1 Magician back then. But when you did have a very good Magician player, Magician was definitely worth using. Also, I should mention that when Magician got rescued back then, he was not invisible off of chair. So he was way weaker than how he is today. Today, he is a literal beast to what he used to be. An actual beast to what he used to be. It's just giving him a 3rd illusion is enough to make him way better than he used to be before. So we're not facing Clown, unfortunately. But it's crazy to say this. Maybe I'll do a Hunter version of this stream. But back then, Photographer was an S-tier Hunter. We're getting all the Hunters that used to be S-tier. We started off with Clown. After Clown, there was Geisha. But I would not say Geisha was S-tier because Thief existed. So it's kind of sad that Geisha came out when Thief was already meta. Because back then, you didn't need a butterfly to cancel Geisha's dash. You could just look at her, including when you're flashlighting her. She literally cannot use her dash because you're facing her, you're looking at her. You didn't need a butterfly back then because butterflies didn't exist. She would just dash if she saw a Survivor. You didn't need a butterfly back then. But because of that, it made it way easier to cancel dashes because you also didn't need a butterfly to look at Geisha. So, unfortunately, Geisha came at a time where Thief was already meta, and even after Thief slowly disappeared from the meta, there were just better Survivors to counter Geisha, like Perfumer. And so Geisha never really became S-tier. But Photographer was S-tier, because after Geisha came Ripper and Spider. Ripper and Spider came out before Geisha, it's just they got buffed after Geisha's release together. And so together they were the new S-tier Hunters until Photo came out. And then we had a new 3rd S-tier Hunter. But yeah, believe it or not, Photo was an S-tier Hunter a long, long time ago. Which is crazy to think. He used to be S-tier back then in the day. Dungeon is here. Dungeon isn't here. We probably have some progress on Bridge, but I did see someone go down here, so maybe they were working on the cipher. We'll see. Well, we may as well check it. It's not going to be that far of a walk. Okay, they're already working on Bridge. You can tell from the cipher shaking. I'm just going to assume they're going to have it done very soon. Oh, was that? I think I just ran right past me. There was a Mercenary right here. So, again, this guy's pretty hard chasing the Dancer, so I'm assuming we'll get the cipher done sometime soon. I'll just prepare a gate. Open a chest. In a real match, you should work on a 2nd cipher machine, but this is low tier rank, so I don't think this guy is going to realize to turn on a camera anytime soon. By the way, you can get terror shocked if you close that chest, so don't do that. Don't do that if the Hunter's already next to you. You do not get terror shocked while searching the chest. You only get terror shocked if you open or close the chest. Okay, they got the cipher done and popped anyway. Cool, cool, cool. Again, this is just Photographer, so it's not a big deal if he goes after me. I'm not scared of Photo. Although I probably should be, because we're in a bad spot right now. Dancer's getting such good value right now. Every time she drops down, well, not every time, but she's on a 40-second cooldown. She just essentially gets a window boost. So I gotta wait for this footsteps to disappear. Oh, he teleported. Okay. We'll take the window boost. I'll save the pallet boost because on a map like Moonlit, there's definitely a lot more pallets than windows. He's just gonna choose to break the pallets. Alright. He might be coming back. Let's see. Does he come back? I definitely am trying not to run into our teammate here. So if he does come after me, I want to make sure we don't run into him. But he's not coming after me. He might be taking a photo. That would be a weird time to take a photo. Well, let's see. He already used teleport. He already used his everything, basically. He has nothing. He's playing photographer. So we can go ahead and boost over to the gate. The last guy probably went past me because I think that was a mercenary, so he probably have a battery. Yeah, that poor photographer has no chase potential. But yeah, back then Photo was an S tier character. Why was Photo S tier back then? Because his cameras had a 30-second cooldown back then. Nowadays they're 45. But they quickly nerfed that. And even when they nerfed that, Photo was still S tier because no survivor knew how Photo worked. So he kind of remained S tier for a while, unfortunately. Even though he really shouldn't have been. We get plus 12 for that. Cool. Alright. We are slowly but surely getting matches. We got some corn stalks. Cool. I know they're not corn. You don't have to tell me. And yeah. So far we've played 2 kiters, but now we're going to go into the rescuer. Who was the best rescuer back then in Season 1? And for a while, if you're me, it was Coordinator. Coordinator was the best rescuer back then. You did have Mercenary, and you did have Forward back then. These survivors did exist. It's not like they didn't exist. They were your only rescuer options. Mercenary, Coordinator, or Forward. But the reason Coordinator was the best was mainly for 2 reasons. For starters, the meta was Clown, who has insanely fast recovery speed if he has Wind Wings on. Like I said earlier in the stream, they did eventually nerf the Wind Wing recovery speed, but that was really the only thing they nerfed about Clown. And that came after Clown stopped being really used widely, but anyway, back to the point. Coordinator would be very good because the whole strategy of Clown is to hit the rescuer once, preferably with Wind Wings or your dash if you didn't have Wind Wings put on, so that you can recover quickly and hit the rescuer a second time with Modified Drill. Hopefully you hit them with Modified Drill the first hit though, because you're not going to have time to set up a second rocket piece. And hit the survivor again. So you hit them with Modified Drill the first hit, and then you hit them again. It's going to take a long time for them to pick themselves up. Hopefully that'll give you time to kill your target, and that way you can maybe also squeeze in a win there if they had to waste time healing that Coordinator who got knocked down. But because Coordinator has a gun, she can stop that whole double hit nonsense, stun the Clown, and then she can safely get the rescue off and allow her teammate to rebound. But the biggest reason why Coordinator was the most popular rescuer was because she had no decode debuff. Why did we not see survivors like Forward or Mercenary as often? Because they had a decode debuff. Why does that matter? Why does that matter? Because today, almost every survivor has a decode debuff, and they're S-tier survivors, right? Like, we play Knight, we play Mercenary, we play Gravekeeper, we play Priestess. These are all survivors with decode debuffs. Why did it matter back then, but now it doesn't? Because back then, ciphers took 60 seconds to do. Nowadays, they take 80 seconds to do, but back then, they took 60. That's the same amount of time that it takes for Blink. So pretty much, as long as every survivor could kite out until Blink, you guys would probably tie or even win your game, even if it's only a 60-second kite. Why? Because the ciphers could be popped in 60 seconds back then. That's why Coordinator was such an important rescuer. Because she didn't have a decode debuff. She could keep up with the Magician. She could keep up with the Thief. Under decode, so that way when the Magician and Thief start their 4th and 5th cipher, Coordinator already finished her 3rd cipher. You guys were on track to winning that game because all you needed was a 60-second kite. Anyone who had a decode debuff would hold your team back because 60 seconds was very easy to get. As long as you knew the kiting area, 60 seconds was a lot easier to kite out back then. It was a lot harder to lose as Survivor back then. The only reason it wasn't so easy is because, people were still learning the game. People didn't necessarily know where the kiting areas are. Why did the game break? Why is the screen broken? Man, we're already in the match. The screen just decided to break for no reason. Hopefully it'll turn back on very soon. Uh-oh. It's not turning back on. It just broke for no reason. This every few months this happens where it just breaks for no reason and it'll magically turn on somehow. Oh right, I don't have, what's it called? I don't have compensate, so I can't even see who the hunter is. The thing is, I can't even look away from the screen, or else if a teleport happens, I'm just gonna get terror shocked. Okay, let's try this. Hopefully it'll turn back on. Yes, thank you. Alright. So like I was saying, back then, decode was king back then, a lot more than it is today, because nowadays, it's a lot harder to do an 80-second kite. Not just because 80 seconds is just longer than 60 seconds, but they've since made much more powerful hunters nowadays. So, survivors like Mercenary had more space to move in, mostly because he got buffed, but also survivors like Forward were more important because survivors couldn't last on their own. So they needed some extra help from their teammates, or they needed stronger endgame. And Coordinator, obviously she can help your teammates, but she's very bad endgame if she already used her gun, because obviously she only starts with one flare gun. She can't hold another gun. She doesn't have any other kiting ability later on in the game. Except for one. And there was a third reason why Coordinator was a very good rescuer back then. Coordinator used to have 30% chair resistance a long time ago. I failed to mention that, because it's not really the main reason why Coordinator was used a lot, but if the hunter ever thought to chase Coordinator and be like, okay, I'm gonna chase Coordinator. I'm gonna chase Coordinator because now they have no rescuer. Like, that's what a lot of hunters be like today, right? Why could you not do that before? Well, because Coordinator had 30% chair resistance. Any time you spent quickly killing the Coordinator was all gotten back through chair time. And so you just couldn't chase Coordinator. Because even if she didn't do that amazing of a kite, she would get almost the whole kite back using her chair resistance. And back then, her chair resistance, again, was 30%. That equals to around, like, I forgot, it was like 14 or 16 seconds extra. I think that might actually be 18 seconds, because 10% is 6, so then 20% would be 12, and then 30% would be 18 seconds. So, that used to be the thing back then. Coordinator was also the king of basement rescues back then, because anytime someone got trapped in basement, obviously if you did a huge stun on the hunter they can't do anything, and so you can literally rebound even basement rescues as Coordinator. But that was more of like a bonus. Like these two, like, they're not gonna escape. Nowadays we rely on Tide Turner to do the basement escape, but even then we don't really allow the person to rebound. Like, you're not gonna really rebound if we do a basement rescue on you. We're just doing it just so we can get you out of basement, and then maybe if we rescue you again. Because the whole point of rescuing once in basement is so that we can rescue again, right? So. Oh man, we got Wanted Order, unfortunately, so. Unfortunately, with Coordinator, we don't have good mobility, so we do have to stay near basement here. I'm not going to go in immediately, because I don't want to give her an easy hit. She has to come follow me. Man, you got to be so careful, because that actually counts as a drop down right there. Nice, got her. You do move incredibly fast as Coordinator, so it is easier to avoid that drop down. Nice. But like right here, she has to use Excitement. She is going to use Excitement. But even with that Excitement, honestly, if she used that Excitement a little bit sooner, maybe she would have gotten a hit on me sooner. But even with Excitement, she's not going to be able to put me back in basement because we do have Tide Turner. I will say that back then, Trump Card used to not exist. So that also made Coordinator more powerful, that you couldn't just switch to Excitement in a key moment. If the situation was really bad and you knew Coordinator was about to save her team with a gun, then you could switch to Excitement nowadays. But you couldn't do that back then. Every hunter had to have Blink. If you don't have Blink, you're getting 5 Cypher kited. You could not carry Excitement back then. Like I said, long story short, the Survivor squad back then was extremely busted. The only thing holding them back really was if you didn't know where the kiting areas are. That would be the only thing that would hold you back. That was... I like the Rain Cloud, but since the Cypher's almost primed anyway, I guess she's doing it just so that she can rescue off of chair. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. I don't think they had the Cypher primed ahead of time before she went down. So you know what? Fair enough. But yeah, there were a lot of reasons why Coordinator was better back then. I will say I feel the biggest one though was just the faster decode that she has over Mercenary and Forward. To this day, it's still a really big advantage of Coordinator. As an advantage of Coordinator, she can decode faster than the other rescuers, which is still a huge advantage over them. And she can also help her teammates rebound. The reason I don't really play Coordinator nowadays is because nowadays Coordinator, hold up. It's actually so ironic because I'm about to talk about, we're facing the Hunter that actually killed Coordinator, funny enough. So back then, I used to play Coordinator all the time. I was obviously a Rescuer main from day one because no one would play Rescuer. But even when Mercenary got buffed, and Mercenary got buffed like even a few months after the game, like he got buffed in like what, Season 2 or Season 3? I still played Coordinator. I did not switch to Mercenary immediately. I actually hated Mercenary. I felt that Mercenary was not as good as Coordinator. When they buffed Mercenary, and also when they nerfed the Cypher speed, I still felt that Coordinator was better for two reasons. First of all, the decode, and second of all, better rescue rebound potential, which is two things that Mercenary did not do better. The whole reason that people started swapping to Mercenary was not just because the decode got longer, so you wanted a stronger endgame with your survivors who could kite out better and maybe get like a gate escape like Mercenary. He was great at that, and he still is great at that. And let's switch to the main account now, since it's almost about to be rank time. But the biggest, I feel the biggest reason why everyone swapped to Mercenary was because the Hunters got way better at camping. And I don't mean the players, I mean there came out Hunters that were stronger campers. Ripper came out, Spider came out, these Hunters that had ways of doing no recovery damage were coming out, and so a lot of people were taking double hits, struggling, failing rescues, making Coordinator a very hard rescuer to play. But if you knew how to rescue well, you didn't need Mercenary's double hit potential, which is why I stuck to Coordinator for such a long time. Because if you still knew how to pull off the rescue, and if you still did really good kites, you don't need Mercenary. You could do the same thing as Coordinator, but get better decode, and you can rebound your teammates. The only thing you're losing over Mercenary at that point is very strong endgame kite, which is a big downside of looking at it nowadays. But, like I was saying, I didn't swap to Mercenary for a long time. I trusted Coordinator for so long. And why did I stop playing Coordinator in the end? I came close when they dropped Dream Witch. Because Dream Witch, oh, the make Coordinator is so rough. But it was still doable. And then they dropped Blood Queen. There was no saving Coordinator at that point. When Blood Queen dropped, Coordinator became utterly useless. She was a survivor who had no counter to Blood Queen. No way to counter her mirrors. I need to invite 2 people here. Oh, thank you so much, Snapple, for the $10 donation. I'm so sorry, I missed it. We're actually playing with Snapple right now. Thank you so much, Snapple, for the donation. And we actually have one more. Come online. Why is Mickey not online, bro? Okay, I'm not gonna be waiting. We got a lot of survivors to cover. You can start. I'm gonna hate this one. Let's see if the survivor actually gets banned. The survivor might get banned this match, so we'll have to do something else. But yeah, a long time ago, Mercenary was the best rescuer. Coordinator was the best rescue. Then Mercenary got buffed. They also added stronger camp hunters. I still stuck with Coordinator, but then when Blood Queen came out, there was no saving her. At that point, it's kind of funny because I was such a hard believer in Coordinator, but people around me were all switching to Mercenary. So what would actually end up happening is we would actually have Mercenary and Coordinator on my team. I would be the Coordinator, we would have someone playing Mercenary, and Coordinator Mercenary actually became a very strong combo. Why? Why were they so strong? Because both of them had 30% anti-chair resistance. So even though Mercenary had better kiting than Coordinator and better endgame, you still couldn't really chase Coordinator because Coordinator still had 30% chair resistance. So the devs saw this, and guess who they nerfed? Out of Coordinator and Mercenary, guess who they nerfed to nerf the Coordinator Mercenary combo? They nerfed Coordinator. They nerfed Coordinator. They nerfed Coordinator's chair resistance to be 10%, And they left Mercenary as is. And they left him for years like that. Which is absolutely crazy. That out of the Coordinator Mercenary combo, that's what they chose to nerf. And I still cannot believe it, honestly, to this day. It is absolutely crazy to me that they decided to do that. Honestly, if I were to buff Coordinator, I would give her back her 30% share resistance. Since then, many years later, they have nerfed Mercenary to have also 10% share resistance. But he should have been the first one to go. And many, many nerfs came after Mercenary later. But combined with Coordinator now being a chaseable target and Blood Queen now coming out, you basically always get targeted first. You had no counter to the mirror. You were just dead. But anyway, that's enough Coordinator rambling. I'm really sad that they did that to Coordinator. To this day, I'm still sad because I love Coordinator. She's such a great team player and she keeps up with Decode so well. But now we're going to play with Mechanic. You guys all know how much I hate Mechanic. They have nerfed Mechanic to the ground. She's a shell of her old self, but she still does have purpose in tournament play. But why was Mechanic so good back then? Mechanic decoded Cypher's 43% faster. I can't put it any other way. Mechanic decoded 43% faster back then. That is why Mechanic was so good back then. Oh man, it's Dream Witch. Alright, well. We're pretty much dead. That's pretty much what that means. That's pretty much what it means. Thank you, Weber's Law. Weber's Law coming in clutch. Good job, Weber's Law. I thought it would come in a little bit sooner there, so if I'm being honest, I should have gotten hit faster there. We're lucky that Weber's Law saved me then and there. You know, is she ever going to use her other leech here? Well, she lost her Hunt. I'm assuming she had Hunt. Well, here comes the Patroller. I'm going to leave that piled up. No, I shouldn't have dropped that. I didn't think she would swing right there. Very alt swing. Basement's here too. Wow, what a sad first hit. You know what? I know why she went for that hit. Because she was out of range of her Dream Witch main body. I shouldn't have dropped it. Really sad. We'll see here. We're still not screwed. We could still live for a little bit. Nice, that's a stun. But we need to watch out for my leech there now. Okay. Yeah, but we have to take the leech hit here. It is better to take the leech hit at this point. So pretty much with Dream Witch, she's pretty much just a tie hunter. And what's nice is we are playing Mechanic, which just ensures the tie. Much better this way. So at least we have that going for us. The reason Mechanic is not as good as she used to be is because for a couple of reasons. Mechanic used to be the best survivor, not just as a decoder, but maybe even the best survivor in the game for a long, long, long time. When she first came out, Mechanic had 43% faster decode. Some of you guys might be confused, like, how did she have 43%? Well, she actually had 35% faster decode on her body, but she also made everyone decode 8% faster, including herself. She also decoded 8% faster. So the whole squad decoded 8% faster, including her. Nice, beautiful rescue. I actually can't drop that. Because if I drop that, I'm going to get hit. The shield's going to run out. Hopefully we can still reach this. It still sucks, though. Is she actually still going to hit me here? No. She's not going to go for it. Okay. We're probably going to go down to this leech, unfortunately. We need to get back on this decode, because we're going to go down here. Yes, we made it so that the leech doesn't break the pallet. Perfect. Honestly, we can still win this match. This is still winnable. She's going around these pallets in like an awkward direction. Unfortunately, she did have Blink, which is a very cheesy way to die. But it is what it is. We're probably going to go in basement here, but it's kind of necessary just so we don't die so close to my Cypher machine. I really want my Perfumer here to pop her Cypher machine, because I'm worried she's going to normal that. Okay. She got terror shocked. Of course she did. Oh my god. Oh, the whole squad is not playing around. Oh, Blake just wasn't playing around Blink right there. Yeah, there's really nothing we can do at this point. That should have been a win. That should be a win. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know right there. We just need her to not get terror shocked. That really sucks. We had a late pop there, so we didn't really have Perfumer rescue me anyway. We would have gone down immediately, or she would have gone down immediately, but... And then we should still at least tie that, most likely, but then Blake just did a really bad painting, and he didn't play around Blink. He delayed his painting, and that's what happens when you delay your painting against Dream Witch, or anyone with Blink. We should have won. We should have won that match, but even with that terror shock, we should still tie as long as she like rescues me after they pop. Like one of us is gonna go down, and the other one's probably gonna go down as well to like a Blink. But we should not be losing that. We should be winning. Well, that's too bad. We're only gonna do one match with each survivor. But as I was saying, Mechanic for years has been a great survivor. Is she still a great survivor? Depends. Sometimes it can be good, but a lot of the time it's just slower than a regular decoder because you end up, you know, dropping your robot. Your robot decodes slower than what it used to decode. It also can't do a cipher by itself anymore, which is something we experienced that match. You know, our cipher would not have popped without Knight's help there. We did end up kiting quite a while, so it didn't really end up mattering, you know. Any survivor kites a long time. It doesn't matter what survivor you're playing. So if you do a 3-server kite, yeah, Mechanic is still good, just like any survivor. But the problem is it's not going to be as reliable or as consistent as something like a better kiter, you know. But the reason Mechanic was so good back then was because even if Mechanic's bot went down, she could then decode with the bot, and if she got off the bot, it did not lose durability back then. Not just that, but also Mechanic's bot was later reworked. So they changed Mechanic, they made it so that she doesn't decode 35% faster, and they made it so she only decodes 25% faster. They also made it so that she doesn't globally buff everyone's decode by 8%, instead made it 3%. And lastly, to make up for those nerfs to Mechanic's body, they made it so that the robot decodes 25% faster, regardless of everyone's injury. And it also didn't matter if you were playing Mechanic. So anyone who grabbed the controller decoded with the bot 25% faster. Thank you so much, Tato. I really appreciate it. But yeah. Thank you, Tato. I honestly wasn't expecting that, man. Thank you so much. We'll talk later. Oh, I'm sorry. What's the next survivor? Well, getting all sentimental here. What's the next survivor? The next survivor we're going to be talking about is Perfumer. Long story short, Mechanic was good for a long time. Sorry, not Perfumer. Mechanic was good for a long time. And then they kind of bit her into the ground when they removed Mechanic's faster decode. On her bot. And also her main body. But mostly on her bot. So that now she can't finish a cipher on herself on the chair. Now she decodes slower with the bot in general. She herself decodes slower. When does Priestess come in? We'll play Priestess. Priestess originally was one of the worst survivors in the game, just like Mercenary. So I'm not putting them immediately on the list. I'm putting the survivors that like were straight from the start, pretty decent survivors. I wonder if Mechanic was better before or after her rework. It's hard to say. I don't know if Mechanic originally was better. She might have been worse back then, because back then, even though she decoded way faster than she did after her rework, the bot didn't decode faster. The bot decoded regular speed, just like a lucky guy. Wait, who's the hunter? Why did I suddenly get a heartbeat? Anyway, so yeah. Eventually, okay, no ping. Eventually, Mechanic was made so that instead of decoding 43% faster, she decoded only 28% faster, if you include her global buff. But they made it so now the bot also decodes 25% faster, which now made Mechanic rely heavily on her bot, and the bot was extremely good. And even if you knock down the bot... by the way, this is why I don't like this Perfumer skin, because it's hard to see the heartbeat. Now I'm realizing, this is just a clerk. I just straight up didn't see the heartbeat. I appreciate you coming in here, Tato. Don't say that about yourself. But yeah. Again, thank you so much, Tato, for the $50. And also, Snapple right before that. Hey, Psyche, hope you're doing well. You alt ranking tonight. I didn't even answer that question, but just at the start. Just at the start. We're alt ranking. Why isn't Psyche wearing her Call of This skin? It was for the thumbnail, but then I didn't even put Call of This. I didn't even put Perfumer in the thumbnail anyway, so it didn't even matter. I put on default skins for the thumbnail, and then I realized there's no space for Perfumer, so I just put 3 survivors on the thumbnail. Okay, this really sucks. I don't think this could get any worse. She's pressuring my Cypher and another person's Cypher, and a third person is rescuing. Yeah, we're probably going to lose this match just from this alone. But yeah, back then Perfumer was insanely good. She was automatically played. Every single match you saw Perfumer. She was by far probably the best survivor kiter that this game has ever seen. In terms of like how widely used Perfumer was when she came out, she was the most widely used. Not like Magician. Magician, even though he hard countered Clown, was not widely used because of how difficult he was. But Perfumer, man, whether you were a low tier that perfumed too early, or a high tier, Perfumer, no matter what, gave pretty good value. And it was hard to take her down, especially with the hunters that existed back then, like Spider and what's it called, Ripper. You know, if Ripper just swings, you can perfume. If Spider uses a lot of web to catch up to you, you can perfume, and then she obviously will not be able to reuse the old webs as long as you walk away from them. And so, Perfumer was a lot better back then, not to mention against Clown, was insanely good. Because she could just eat the whole dash hit, and as long as you perfumed fast enough, you would not get hit, and as long as you were next to a pal, you would not get hit. Perfumer was just an amazing survivor. For a long time, even after more hunters came out, no matter what those hunters were they Geisha, Wu Chang, Perfumer just constantly stayed on top. But where Perfumer started falling off was when they started releasing the second half of the Hunter book. So after Sculptor, all the hunters after Sculptor were when Perfumer started going really downhill. And this is why I don't use Perfumer nowadays. So the same way how I loved Coordinator because of a certain reason, I also loved Perfumer. Just in terms of just the kiter, what kiter would I automatically pick every single time? It would be Perfumer. In terms of what rescuer I would pick every single time, it would be Coordinator until Bloodkin came out. Then it would be Mercenary. And she was just such an insanely good survivor. Insanely good. Weber's Law is going to be really handy here. You know what? I don't actually think we're going to make it anyway. Oh, this is really sad. Are we actually not going to make this hole? We're not going to make the hole. That is another reason why Perfumer kind of meh. But it's alright. That existed even before. That's not a new thing. That's not a new thing. Oh, I think she has the buff that makes you faster after falling from a height, now that I think about it. Otherwise, we would make that. Someone dropped the pallet. That's too bad. We didn't even get blink out on the first guy. But anyway. Perfumer is still a really good survivor in certain areas. Like right there, we should have been fine, but I haven't played Perfumer in so long that I actually didn't realize that the persona that they added to Hunter from falling from a height is making such a big difference right there. So she was actually able to catch up to us because of a persona they added that used to not exist in this game. Otherwise, we would have made that, just dropping down and perfuming early. But hopefully they make this rescue. This is a free rescue. Come on. Oh man, this Cork is playing so risky. I would still love to get like a pallet speed boost off this pallet, but I don't think it's going to do that much because she just easily goes around the pallet. Yeah, are we still going to get hit here? Whew. Almost got hit there. Honestly, our best bet is just drop a pallet. Because if we use any non-drop pallet, then it's a lot easier for her to deal with it. Hopefully we can get the cipher done. It's almost done. Oh, this is not good. Yeah, there's the other PAL recording from the Priestess from earlier this game. Okay, she has a PAL recording again now. Now we need someone else to rescue now. Man, it sucks because we don't have an easy way to also leave this chair. Even if I didn't go towards that drop PAL, there's just another chair right there. Is there? I'm pretty sure there is. There's another chair also right next to that. Oh, that was a really bad ball. Okay, good. He realizes. Gonna go this way. No. We might be in trouble. Anyway, perfumes are still really good on heights, but the main reason why Perfumer fell off is because of hunters like this. Clerk is one of the hunters, but she's not the only one. Hunters like Wax Artist, Night Watch, Clerk as well. All these hunters have made Perfumer almost unusable. Because the whole strategy around Perfumer is that you use your perfume to cancel one of their abilities, and then they're going to be on cooldown. But why you can't do that with Clerk, or Wax Artist, or Night Watch? The whole reason you can't is because they have multiple stacks of abilities. So because of that, you're just never able to just cancel one of their abilities out. They always have stacks upon stacks of their abilities. And so because of that, Perfumer just fell off. Perfumer was not a good survivor anymore because of that. But as long as it's not those hunters, as long as it's not like Clerk or Wax or Sir Nightwatch, Perfumer can still be good. It's just you don't see her anymore because of that. You know, because these hunter abilities, you use your perfume one time, and they just have stacks upon stacks of more abilities to kill you with. It just makes the perfume completely pointless. I saw the hunter shadow right there. He's going towards the fire investigator. We'll still make this chair. No, the hunter changed target. You know why the hunter changed target? Because I'm not at the gate anymore. Here's what I'm going to do. We're just going to wait out the tension. We're just going to wait out the tension, and hopefully our fire investigator will be able to kite out like a dungeon with his speed ups. Because that is Clerk's weakness. He doesn't have good mobility. I try to do perfuming. I try to perfume off heights right there, but again, because she drops down faster from heights, she has that speed boost from heights. She actually ended up, actually killing me there. I didn't end up having the chance to make it to the to the drop down in the first place before she hits me. I'm just waiting out the tension here because I don't want her to see me, and then just teleport here and kill me with the tension. So now the hunter doesn't have detention, so now... I mean, we could even body block for the survivor as well. I just hope she doesn't have a million recordings. Now the thing is, she's always going to be able to record me. She has a million recordings for me. But, as long as she doesn't have a million recordings to kill our teammates with, then she cannot actually kill them. She needs abilities to take them out with. So, this fire investigator could, in theory, keep kiting her, but the windows are breakable there, so he can't even kite her forever. Yeah, there's not a whole lot we can do here. What does he even do? I guess she's just getting it out of her inventory. Yeah, this is going to be a very slow game. Now, I would say we played this right so far. Now she cannot do a whole lot, because she's out of detention. She doesn't have anything. Like, she can't easily kill me right now, and even if she does go after me, we do guarantee still live for 5 seconds with full health with our perfume. I think she might break this window and go back on the gate. Just gonna get as much done possible. If she records me, so be it. Honestly, I should have just gone for it. Should have just gone for it at that point. But unlike a cipher machine, it's not like she can open it. There we go. It's not like she can pop it on her own will. Maybe we can still get dungeon. We'll see here. Okay, we need to go for a body block. We're not going to go for a body block with a teleport. Okay, that's warp gone. It's still possible. No, Hunter's going back. Okay. We can't even drop any items for him. He can't pick up items. Oh, man. I guess it's technically not over. Maybe she'll chair here? Maybe she'll chair here. There's no point. Can't do it. Maybe we can body block him? Get a window boost out of here? Oh, she's going after me! Are we gonna make it though? Oh, I don't actually know if we're gonna make it. I don't think we make it. We're not gonna make it. We would have gotten hit right there. Do we have a drop pallet? Ooh, that's really good, but I wish he put the ball in a different spot. I wish he put it like right there instead. Now is the reverse situation. Oh crap. Wait, but I can open chest items though. So I have an advantage here. Okay, if he knocks her... No, what? He didn't leave the gate? I thought he did leave the gate. He didn't make the gate. Ooh. Okay. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. He didn't... I guess he didn't go for it because he put the ball in that position. Yeah. See, that's kind of why you shouldn't put the ball in that position, because yes, you protect me, but I can't make it to the gate, and neither can you now. Like, it would have been better if he put the ball at the doorway instead of the breakable window. You know, to force her to get closer to me before you put the ball, since I wouldn't anyway take a hit so soon. That sucks. Yeah, but that's the main reason why you don't see me play Perfumer. Again, used to be an auto-pick character for me. I don't really play Perfumer anymore because, right there, we face Clerk. And even if we perfume one of her recordings, we're just going to get hit right afterwards. We need a different strategy. Thankfully, we were on a pretty good area. We were in a pretty good area. Mickey, bro. I don't want to voice chat today. We were in a pretty good area against Clerk. It's just that I didn't end up accounting for that drop down. I didn't account for the drop down, which is a little bit bad on my end. Does Ellie still play at any 5? He's telling me that for now he's not. He hasn't played the game in a while. I don't even know if he's commentating anymore. I don't think he is. But yeah. Yeah, Snapple did donate $50 last stream, yeah. Match so long, have potatoes donuts almost up, yeah. Yo, thank you so much, Creamy Michi. I can't say but have a good stream, Sagi. Thank you so much, Creamy Michi. Such a stupid donation message. Not your message. I mean the sound effect that I put up. Alright, the next survivor we're gonna be playing is Mercenary. Surprise, surprise! Mercenary is still an S tier survivor to this day, but we are gonna be going after all the history of survivors. Oh, I actually skipped one. Is the survivor available? Okay, Priestess is banned. But the next time we can play Priestess, I'll play Priestess. But right now we're gonna skip to Mercenary. Surprise, surprise! Mercenary is still an S tier survivor. But originally, Mercenary was a D tier survivor. He was one of the worst, not just because back then ciphers decoded way faster, so you didn't want slower decoders, but also he didn't have his damage delay. He did have 6 elbow pads, but he had no purpose. He had slower decode. Coordinator just does a better rescue than him. He had no advantage over Coordinator besides extra elbow pads, and he would just never get chased, and he would have slower decode. For no reason for your team. And since ciphers took 60 seconds back then, you know, it was just so bad to have slower decode. So you wanted everyone to have normal decode or fast decoding, since, you know, you wanted to beat the blink timer or be on par with the blink timer. After they nerfed the ciphers and made them take longer, and when they added the damage delay to Mercenary became a lot better. But also it's because they added stronger hunters that made Coordinator less good, and they also nerfed Coordinator's chair resistance, which made her a chaseable target. A lot of reasons led to me switching over to Mercenary. To this day, I still play Mercenary, and even to this day, people are still asking me on my rescue guide, what do I play as if I'm not playing as Mercenary? That was supposed to be a general guide, by the way, and nowhere in there I said that you needed to play Mercenary. But it's crazy that that's how known I am for Mercenary, because I played Mercenary, and Mercenary is the best rescuer, and so that's what I used for that video, to give you guys the best chance, because it's pretty much the rescuer. If you're ever going to play rescuer at the time, it was pretty much the only rescuer that was just the best. He had 5 elbow pads, 15-second delay. There was just a lot of reasons to play Mercenary. Even if you were a bad Mercenary and you elbow padded to every single chair, you still had more than enough elbow pads for the late game and just elbow pad to dungeon or the exit gate. Nowadays, you can't do that. You have to be very smart with your Mercenary elbow pads. But even back then, even when you have 5 elbow pads, a lot of games, I was just leaving with 1, 2, sometimes even 3 elbow pads. Maybe I'd even have 4 if I never used one all game and the hunter chases me end game. And I just take a body block for someone and then Mercenary elbow pad to the gate. Or maybe they will chase me and I'll just take 1 elbow pad. If you know how to elbow pad very well, you're barely using that much in the first place. So even though Mercenary doesn't have 5 elbow pads like he used to be, extremely talented Mercenaries will know the right time to use the elbow pad at the right place against the right hunter. And even when it's not optimal, hunters don't know how to curve their ult pads, like Percy or Geisha, so that they never have a direct line of sight on you to just use their ability on you. And that's the power of Mercenary, is that he has so much versatility because of that. Whether that be mid-game, that he's not a chaseable target, early game he's also not really a chaseable target, end game he's not a chaseable target, as long as he saved his ult pads and made good use of them early game to not have to spam a bunch of them early on. He becomes a very strong survivor in the end game because he's always a threat. He can always dungeon escape, he can always exit gate escape. That's what's made him such a strong, versatile rescuer. And even to this day, I still play Mercenary. Still to this day, still play Mercenary. Extremely strong survivor. I would still say basically auto pick, but there are multiple rescuer options nowadays, so it's not as easy, but all of them are so good. And so it's hard to just pick one. But Mercenary, if I just want someone to just be easy with, go easy, not use too much of my brain, Mercenary is your guy. The thing about Mercenary is that he does end up using your brain a lot if you end up being the last chase of the game. Because you, as a Mercenary, unlike any other survivor in this game, you can elbow pad or dungeon escape almost every time, as long as you play very well, as long as you position yourself well, and depending on the hunter, it may or may not be easier or harder, depending on who you're up against. So, that's what I love about Mercenary, is that he's always that guy who can always gate escape and secure your guys a win, even if someone didn't do a winning kite. And to this day, he still remains like that. They have nerfed Mercenary a lot. The last time they nerfed Mercenary was a couple years ago at this point, when they removed his 15-second damage delay, made it 8 seconds. That was the last nerf he received. Since then, they haven't touched Mercenary, but I do still miss those 5 elbow pads. Because now it's a lot more stressful. It's a lot more like, man, do I really want to use an elbow pad? Back then, it would be like, oh, I could save one and play risky. Or I could just elbow pad away. And so that's kind of why someone in chat said just elbow pad away, because that's... I think that was genuinely my advice. Was that actually what I just told someone like one time? Just elbow pad away? It's a lot more than that, because obviously I'm not just elbow padding 24/7, otherwise you would not have elbow pads for the late game, but still. Still. You know what I mean. If the hunter has you cornered, trapped, with a bunch of abilities ready to kill you with, you can sometimes even bait one and then elbow pad away, you know? That's where it comes from. But with 5 elbow pads, that choice was a lot easier to make back then. Definitely was not as costly. Nowadays with 3 elbow pads, I mean guys, we're going into the end game with 3 elbow pads. We're literally just gonna elbow pad away. It is Mercenary, so he is gonna be able to catch, sorry, it is Ripper, so Ripper can actually catch up quite well. But still, not gonna be enough to kill us before we use all 3 of our elbow pads. Okay, we found dungeon, and we're working on gate. We have an escape plan. We can definitely get an escape out. The only thing that's holding us back is the map right now. Because of the map, it's gonna take every single survivor a long time to escape. So like this person near me right now is gonna need a long time to walk to the other gate right now. So we'll see here. You see, this is not as easy because Ripper can actually catch up quite decently. Where's he going, though? He thinks someone else is here. Okay, we have a shot here. We have a really good shot at getting a 3 escape here. I'm still worried, though. They still don't have the gate open, and he can chip us down. This is not good. This is really bad. Hopefully they can escape. Let's go! That's why Mercenary is still S tier. But he's been S tier for a long time. I'm still putting him on this list. Anyway, even if they're still currently S tier, for a damn good reason, they're still currently S tier. God damn. That was really close. That was really close. Like I said, Moonlit takes 5 years to get to the gate. That almost cost us, but definitely the hardest map. It actually sucks that dungeon was so close to us, because then it's really awkward. Like, do we leave dungeon? Like, we can't really leave dungeon because we don't have an easy way to go back. The only way to go back to dungeon is through the bridges. You know, if I take the bridge and walk away from dungeon, I'm not going to have an easy way back to dungeon. That's a pretty big disadvantage of Moonlit, is that if you want to go from one side of the map to the other, once you pass the bridge, it's really hard to go backwards again. Just because the bridge is empty, you know, there's nothing on the bridge, you're always going to need an ability to go across the bridge. A little bit annoying there. A little bit annoying on the map, but we still got it anyway. we baited him so hard with that swing. Maybe we could have just gone for it and just risked it. Maybe. Maybe we could have gone for it. Because sticker, I do have max sticker now that it's on the borrow time. But it would have been so risky. I'm pretty sure we would have gotten knocked away from Nudge and we wouldn't have gotten back up on time. Alright. Arms Factory. I'm not going to play Priestess on Arms Factory. Priestess was a former S-tier survivor, but we're not going to play her. Man, forward is blocked. That was going to be my next survivor. We're going to play Cowboy. This might be a little bit of a controversial one. I'm putting Cowboy on this list. I'm putting Cowboy on this list as former S-tier survivor. Unfortunately, in NAEU, in the NAEU server, there was just not enough people who mained Cowboy to prove how good he was. But Cowboy, at his peak, Blue Racecar was the only guy really at the top level of the game using Cowboy. In Cowboy, before all his adjustments, he was the most underrated survivor in this game. Guys, he was forward, but better. He was just forward, but better. He had the ability to insta-lasso, and when you insta-lasso someone back then, they would be alive. They would be alive on your shoulder. And when you ballooned rescue someone, you got a huge speed boost after lassoing them, whether or not they were alive on balloons or not. Whether they were alive walking, whether they were on balloons, you got a huge, like, 2-second, 50% speed boost. Obviously, insta-lasso revived the person. And Excitement didn't counter lasso back then either, so that's more added to it. Cowboy was like the secret most underrated harasser in the entire game, and the devs killed him before NAU server had a chance to use him. But I guarantee you guys that in China, they were using this man like crazy, because I do not think they would have nerfed Cowboy just because Blue Racecar was using him. I don't even think they knew about Blue Racecar's existence. I bet you that a lot of Chinese people were using Cowboy at the time, and that they were doing insane stuff with insta-lassos, keeping people alive for such a long time. Cowboy was waiting to be the most broken survivor in the game. The most broken harasser in the game. Harass from a distance, instant lasso people. The hunter literally cannot react to you. You get a huge speed boost to just get you away from the hunter after the lasso. You revive the person, so it still takes time to knock down the person again, and then he can do it all over again. And you can't excitement it either. He was insanely good. Unfortunately, not a lot of people were using him. I'm actually going to lasso her here. I'm a little bit nervous, though. I am going to take a window boost here. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at that window boost value. Whew, we just ruined her life. Happened to be that Cowboy was extremely good there, I'm not going to lie. If you can cancel out a whole mirror with a single lasso, that is pretty good value. That's pretty good value. Blake Lucky? No, I think he was coming back because he knew something was up. He knew I wouldn't let him die. So, how did Cowboy fall from grace? Well, long story short, no one really used Cowboy, so it's hard to say he fell from grace. But when they nerfed Cowboy, you bet you ass Blue Racecar was really depressed. Need that Priestess gameplay? We'll play Priestess, don't worry. I just don't want it to be on Arms Factory because like Priestess Arms Factory, it's not that amazing. I do want to play Priestess on at least a good Priestess map, because even back then, no one would really play Priestess on Arms Factory. The whole way banning worked back then for Hunters is that Hunters would not ban Priestess on Arms Factory, even when she was, at the time, the S-tier survivor. Because she just didn't have that many good portal spots. So I don't want to play Priestess and, you know, not even play her on one of her worst maps. I don't think that's a good idea. Arms Factory is her worst map, yes, yeah. There's just not a lot of places to do long portals. There is like Shack and Factory and the crate in the middle, but especially nowadays with the Arms Factory nerf at front gate as well, Priestess in that area is now not as good because the Hunter has a much easier time going around walls now that they put that big hole in the wall. So Priestess has only gotten worse on Arms Factory. Ooh. Miki was working on that server this whole time and I'm busy commentating. We're still gonna go do his cipher. It's gonna be faster to do his cipher than to start a fresh one. We also got Wanted Order, so maybe it will be a good distraction. Never mind. Man, is this a cipher? Where is Miki Cypher? I don't know where Miki Cypher is. Oh my god, I don't know where Miki Cypher is. We might actually tie this game because I can't find Miki Cypher. Dude, where is Miki Cypher? There was nothing at middle. Middle was already popped. Was there a second middle Cypher? Hold up. Dude, there is another Cypher. No, don't tell me they were double decoding. They were double decoding. Oh my god, they were double decoding. I thought they were working on separate Cypher machines. I thought Miki was working on middle and that he was working at factory. Oh my god, that's such a huge blunder. From my perspective, I thought it looked like... Hopefully we can get this. No! Oh my god, it still worked. I forgot to turn off no balloon animations in the settings, and I still somehow got that lasso. Okay. We're cooking today, okay. They were double decoding because they thought I would do a 5th Cypher machine, which I should have. Except I thought Miki had a 5th Cypher. Oopsie, sorry Miki. Guys, there's a setting for Cowboy that makes it so that there is not different balloon animations. So that it's not harder to get the rescue based off their accessory. But I literally aimed upwards and it still rescued her. That would not have counted before. Maybe they changed it entirely. Who knows? I'm going to try my best to change it in the settings here during this match. But I do want to do Shaq. It's not a good idea to work on these two Cyphers. Okay, let's try to change this. Is it still here? It should be here. No, it's not here. It might not be mid-game. You might have to change it outside of the game. Dude, Blake is anyway working on the Cypher closest to the Hunter. There's like deep sandbags and then there's regular sandbag Cypher, which I don't know. I would not do that Cypher, especially when I've been on chair before. I actually decode negative 30% slower because I'm decoding with a male right now. It's kind of funny. I don't know how we got that lasso because I aimed upwards. You know, she had the accessory that made it so that the survivor's on her chest. Ooh. But anyway, but as I was saying, making it in front of her chest, and that was really annoying. That was actually really annoying, those accessories, because it made it way harder to balloon or lasso, because then the game didn't know if you wanted to lasso the survivor or lasso the hunter. And it would oftentimes lasso the hunter, because they have a bigger hitbox. But so far we're doing really well with Cowboy. I mean, we're screwing up this Blood Queen. Blood Queen in general is really bad to harassers. But like right here, I don't think we want to help out. If I help out, she's just going to go after me, and then I'm not going to be able to escape. But yeah, back then, a lot of reasons why Cowboy was way better back then. It's not just that when he ballooned survivors. It's also when he, it's not when he balloons. It's not just when he lassoed survivors. It's also when he lassoed pallets and Cypher machines. He used to have a bigger boost back then. Cowboy in general was a lot more mobile back then. And so, he has fell down a lot, but we still played that really well. That was still really good. I gotta change that into settings, by the way, if I ever play Cowboy again in the future. So how did the Cowboy fall off? Basically, they made it so that Cowboy cannot instant lasso, and also that excitement affects instant lasso. But that's not what's really important. The most important is that you cannot instant lasso. They eventually brought that back, but they made it so that the survivors now revived on your shoulders. Which, I tried to use Cowboy for a while, but it just wasn't that good. And so eventually I let go of Cowboy. Alright, so there's this thing in the settings, hide the hunter's special balloon holding action. It used to be that this affected where you needed a lasso, and then it made it a lot harder to lasso because of that. But I literally aimed above the hunter, and it still lassoed the survivor. So I guess maybe the game imagines that the hunter still has balloons above them, because if she didn't have that accessory, the survivor would be obviously above her. I aimed where the survivor would be if she didn't have that accessory, and it still worked. So maybe they made it so that even if you don't turn on that setting, you can still lasso above the hunter? I don't know. That was really weird. I definitely lassoed above her, right? Thank you so much to Lantern for keeping up with the score. Lantern is our unofficial score holder because I can't remember. Okay, if Priestess is available, I'll play her this match. Yes, Priestess is available. Although I don't want to play Priestess on this map. In general, I don't like to play Priestess. Even when she was S tier, I never really liked to play Priestess. I don't know. I've never been a big Priestess fan. Although it's very good support, I've never liked playing Priestess on the kiting role of it. I will say, Priestess is really good with the World Portal, because to this day, she still doesn't leave a shadow behind when she goes through the World Portal, which is insane. I don't know why they still didn't nerf that about her. But nowadays, you don't see really Priestess, because, you know, opera singer mostly. But they've also nerfed Priestess a lot. In general, they've slowly reduced her stun. A long time ago, I will give some background. The original Priestess, the way the original Priestess worked, is that you actually could not travel through the portals as Hunter. A long time ago, you could not travel through portals. What about Seer? We'll get to Seer later, but I'm kind of going in the order of, like, release or what was buffed. Don't worry, there's going to be a dry period of, like, no good survivors. Don't worry. The list is going to go real fast, but right now, we're still in, like, the early seasons. They did drop a lot of good survivors in the early seasons, or, like, rework them to be very good. We'll also play forward. I definitely feel forward was very good. For people who knew how to play forward, forward was as good as Cowboy, although I did feel Cowboy was safer, because forward could still get countered by excitement. But back then, forward had more football back then, and he also didn't need as much football to still stun the Hunter. Like, you could football with, like, 5% back then. Okay, the capture card broke again. Hopefully it'll fix. There we go. But yeah, I just don't like playing Priestess. I just don't think her kite is that amazing. I think her support can be good, but I'm not gonna lie, Priestess definitely fell from grace ever since they removed the ability to portal and the Hunter couldn't travel through the portal. Oh yeah, and it's Blood Queen as well. The whole problem with Blood Queen is that if we're not by a wall, she could just straight up... Let's see, are we even gonna survive here? I'm scared to go by the portal. Make another portal? Oh, and she's on the other side of the portal. Okay, it doesn't even matter, unfortunately. She's going around. No, she's not going around. God damn it. Now we're not going to go back in factory. But yeah, hopefully we can get another mirror out here. I'm a little bit scared because this is not a great cutting area. Okay, we'll get another mirror out here. And Blink is ended, unfortunately. We're kind of in trouble now. We're just gonna die to Blink now. Man, I hate... It's crazy. Blood Queen to this day is still used so widely. Gonna wait for the window boost. Here we go. And... it doesn't really matter where we go. We're just gonna die to the mirror at this point. We don't have a good mirror counter. You can have a good mirror counter if you're like on a floor above, you know, you're like on a second floor and then she mirrors you and then you just portal down. But no Blood Queen is gonna mirror you when you're by a wall. Like, we're lucky this Blood Queen used her mirror when I was by factory. Like, she shouldn't have done that. Maybe she could have still hit me if she positioned her mirror a little bit better, but we still managed to outplay her. But yeah, this is another reason why I don't like to play Priestess. Just because Blood Queen, you know, this is just really hard to kite out. Every once in a while you can pull off something, but if you're the first chase, it's very, very difficult. Nice. Good rescue there. I'm very smart that Miki saved his shield ability there, so that now he can rescue again, and then next time I'll have the shield when I actually need it. I can't even, like, world portal away right now, sadly. That would definitely be a good play to do, because I'm probably not going to use this portal. Let's see here. We're just going to waste your time here. Use tall walls to our advantage. Oh my god. We could actually survive here. Let's go. Oh, we might be back. We might be back, boys. We might be back. Let's go. She's just waiting for her next mirror at this point. Did she break it? I can't see if she broke it or not. We don't even have another portal, unfortunately. Dodge? Nope, don't dodge. I mean, maybe we can win this game. I don't know if we'll be able to win this game still. We do have that shield, but I'm really hoping she wastes a mirror on a Cypher and doesn't save it for me. Right now she's on cooldown, so she can't use the mirror right now. Although it's about to go off of cooldown right now. I would stay on that Cypher and just eat the hit. Okay, now obviously get off though. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna have enough. mean, we'll see here. Maybe we can do something. Mickey's delaying the best he can right now. Okay. I'm thinking we want to kite around this Cray. Oh no, we're not even going to make the Cray before the shield runs out. We have to waste the portal. Oh, the Cyber's primed? Oh, that was a waste of a portal then. Okay. Yeah, I'm also not prepared to kite out a mirror. Okay, this is really bad. We're probably going to go down without baiting out a mirror. Because even if we get out of that situation, how are we going to get out of this one now? This one's also a really bad cutting area. Nice! Maybe we can escape? Yes, we can escape now. That's what we needed. Yeah, we're going to make it. I still can't tell them to pop, though. Here's the thing. If we can make this a factory, we can tell them to pop. Shoot, did I mess up? No, we're not gonna make it to factory, I don't think. Thankfully, she charge attacked there. If she did a regular attack, we would have died. Okay. Here's the plan. We're just gonna have to take a hit and go factory up the stairs, and then she won't be able to really mirror us. Okay, that's fine. That's expected, but we're gonna take a pallet boost now, ideally. She's smart. She's not. She doesn't care to go backwards. We're still gonna run forwards though. And I think now we're gonna take the hit. Because now she can't mirror me. The only problem is that she can mirror the gardener now. Because if she mirrors me, we're gonna portal down. I don't know where the portal is. I'm just gonna assume it's... Shoot, I don't even know where she is. So yeah, that's the whole idea there. You see how fast it is to portal down when you're up above a floor? That's the whole idea. That's why you can't really mirror on a Priestess when she is on a second floor. That's the whole idea there. That's how we can escape that scenario. We also got a lot of ability. Like, we can still world portal someone. I will say, Priestess has that innate ability to just get free abilities the longer the game goes, which is pretty good. That is pretty good. Not a lot of survivors have that ability. Looks like we don't really need to do it this game, but I'll still do it anyway, because it's fun. She could literally walk here. We're literally making an Oreo super portal. Alright. We do manage to survive, though, miraculously. End up getting a win there. I'll make sure to add that. I'll remember about that one, don't worry. It's a memorable win. Yeah, BM portal. She already used teleport. Why did you have to die? Look at that, plus 13. Let's go. Hey, again, Priestess is not like bad. She's not a bad survivor. Some of these survivors that I'm showing are either very hard or just straight up bad. Like Thief, the way you play Thief nowadays is nothing like you used to play him. Like, it's not as simple as just vaulting anymore. You actually need to know how to use your flashlight. Mechanic, incredible game sense oriented survivor. It's not as simple as just dropping your robot from the start anymore. You have to evaluate the situation, the spawns. Do you need to sack your robot to kite? Because nowadays there's not really a point to drop the robot ahead of time because you anyway can't pop the cypher. If you do that, you're pretty much submitting to a tie. If you save the robot though, you can maybe get a winning kite if you use it to body block. Because either way, that robot's not going to be able to pop that cypher before you die. Someone's going to have to walk to and finish it after you die anyway. Or while you're still alive, you know. But if you don't save the robot to kite, you're probably not going to live long enough for your teammates to finish the rest of your robot cypher. Anyway, let's see if we can play forward now. I'm glad we got Priestess out the way. Priestess always stresses me out. Even when she was S tier, I never really liked playing Priestess. She always stressed me out. Again, I just didn't like playing Priestess. I'm not a big Priestess fan. I love the support idea of Priestess, but if I were to play Priestess, I would only play Priestess back when she had the ability to like go through walls and Hunter couldn't travel after her. So now we're gonna play forward. Forward is an extremely hard survivor to play. Oh, you know what? We're gonna play Seer first, because Seer is more likely to get banned than forward. Again, Seer's still a really good survivor, so I am going to try to play Seer. But back then, Seer was so much better. Seer was way better back then. Tato can be proud of me for real. But a long time ago, Seer was a lot different back then. Seer was way more broken. I'm gonna give Priestess the hospital. Back then, Seer was so good. So a long time ago, there were a couple things. I'll mention the things. Back then, Seer had 3 things that made him broken. 16-second owls. Nowadays, they're 8 seconds. The ability to get owls while inside an owl. That was stupid. And if you thought that was stupid, you have the ability to get owls while in Tide Turner when you already are going to die in Tide Turner. Like, you have the red circle around you and you're going to die because the hunter already hit you. You're still getting owls. You literally just follow the hunter for more owls. So Seer back then was insanely good when he first came out. Like 16-second owls. So the hunter cannot ignore the owl. They pretty much have to hit the owl. And if you didn't hit the owl, you know, Seer would not even get a negative vault bonus. Nowadays, if you use the owl, that already gives a negative vault bonus. And on top of that, gives you a decode nerf. So, he's become a lot worse since then. Still a popular survivor to ban, still a fun survivor to play. I mean, who doesn't love gaining more owls from kiting longer? It's a fun concept. I actually have Flywheel. I didn't mean to have Flywheel. We'll see how we do with Flywheel. Man, Broken Windows was so good last game. Even though it was a Blood Queen, Broken Windows was still so clutch that whole game. I really like Broken Windows. Even against Blood Queen. Because, honestly, Flywheel would be good against Priestess versus Blood Queen. Because there are times where you like, use a portal, and sometimes the Blood Queen is still barely able to hit you right before the mirror runs out, so that's where Flywheel would be good. So, there is some synergy with Priestess Flywheel. I don't think there's anything amazing with Seer Flywheel. The only thing with Seer Flywheel is that you're using kiting abilities that keep you close to the hunter, so that way you can still keep gaining owls. But in my experience, I don't find that's a good trade-off. Because it takes way too long to get those abilities, and your Flywheel is only good for like 0.4 seconds. Assuming that you hit a hunter ability with your Flywheel, it still doesn't take that long to get a hunter ability back. And that's not to say the hunter doesn't go behind a wall and prevent you from getting more owls in the first place. So I just find that Broken Windows is better. Especially on a map like a Hospital, where it's so important to use like Broken Windows or Pal Boost to get inside Hospital. I mean, last game too. We used our Pal Boost, we used our Window Boost. Oopsie, I should probably be focusing. Oh! Good thing I played Perfumer for many years. But that was a really good owl. The only thing is that the owl doesn't last as long as it used to. Owl is 30% shorter cooldown on recovery than what it used to be. So even when the hunter hits the owl, it also is worse than what it used to be. So Seer has gotten nerfed heavily, like heavy, over the years. But it took them way too long to do it, and honestly, he's still a pretty good survivor. Is he still S tier? Hard to say. Probably. Oh man, you see, we're in trouble now. I'm just gonna sack the hit. We're not gonna kite out in this area. And if only we had like Broken Windows here, because then we could like take a Broken Windows boost instead of wasting these pallets. Ooh, a portal. No! It ran out. That's so sad. See, like now we have to waste both the pallets, and we're not even gonna get a window boost out of it. Like window boost would be huge right now. Seer's gonna be good. Sorry, not Seer. The Flywheel might be good against like. Oh, he actually didn't break it because he ran out of energy. Bait him. Got him. Let's see. It'll be good on like one swing, I guess. It'll be good on 1,000 presents. No, he still got me. The slower vault actually killed me right there. We actually would have been fine if it weren't for that. And some of you guys might be thinking like, oh, but he would jump over and kill you then, right? No, because if you hug the wall, he actually jumps past you, and then you can vault the window again. So a little bit unfortunate there. The vaulting speed actually did end up mattering there, sadly. Really unfortunate. Usually that doesn't matter. I'm gonna save the self-heal here. You don't want to use it if there's a survivor who can heal you, because dude, this is essentially like a self-rescue on the chair. So, if possible, you do want to save your self-heal, because think of it like an ability to rescue yourself off a chair. That's basically self-heal against Percy. So you definitely want to save it if you can. The only issue is that we're going to go in the endgame here, so the next time I go down, I'm anyway not going to be able to self-heal. So we need to let someone who hasn't gone down do the gate. because if they go down, they can self-heal themselves before they bleed out to death. If you've gone down even one time, you cannot heal yourself anymore. It's too late. You're gonna die. We're gonna slow vault this just to do a quiet vault. Just so he doesn't know. How would he know, right? I don't know if I was gonna get any value here. I do want to take a hit on purpose here. Bruh. Unfortunately, he did not go for it. That does not hit. That does not hit. Maybe we can get an owl here. We're in a very good owl to farm. We're in a very good area to farm owls right now. No, that does hit. Ah, I think I got stuck here for a second on a wall. Oh, and there's no one to heal me, unfortunately. Ah, too bad. We could have lived longer there. My bad. We got stuck on like this for like half a second. But yeah, you cannot heal yourself in time, unfortunately. It would be close. Don't get me wrong. You get close. Dude, it would be so funny. No, I didn't mean to leave the match. I meant to click the speed button. I forgot the speed button's on the right side, not the left side. I wanted to check if Dungeon was there, because if Dungeon was there, then them all dying instead of leaving actually would actually not be so good. Because then I would die before I even get a chance to crawl out and escape through Dungeon. Anyway, it was an okay Kai. We had a good endgame there, but I made a mistake at the end there. And got stuck on that little obstacle. Could be that maybe that's not. Maybe we would have gotten hit there regardless. But hey, if I use that flywheel too early, we're also not going to escape. So we have to use it wisely. And I'm pretty sure we would have survived had it not been for that wall. Anyway, that little thing in the ground. Anyway, let's see what we got next. We're going to play forward next. If forward doesn't get banned, we'll see. So far, it's been that one Blood Queen guy who's been banning forward. I may have traumatized him, yeah. Blake did a really good Gardener Kai. So far, we're cooking today. We're doing really well. I mean, we kind of cheesed the Hunter this game with Mercenary. I still count it as a win, but I feel really cheesy anytime I do something like that. So we did do some ranked matches on the alt account, so I think I got that open. Let me just pick forward before I forget. Let's check on Stinky. We had 2 wins, 1 draw. And on this account, we have 4 wins, 2 losses. 2 wins, 1 draw, 4 wins. So we're at 6 now. 6 wins now. We're going to play forward. I don't like playing forward anymore. You will see some people who play forward. I actually should have had flywheel or tie turner. I had the wrong build. I will not play forward anymore. Forward back then was a very strong survivor. Also, he used to be one of the only harassers back then, so there was more reason to pick forward. You know, if you wanted to support, it was going to be hard to support in balloons if it's not forward. You know, there just wasn't a survivor who could do that except forward. But forward also had 2 seconds longer on his football back then, I believe, right? I think they nerfed it from 8 seconds to 6 seconds. So that was a pretty big nerf to forward. Is it 6 seconds? I'm pretty sure it was from 8 to 6. And they also made it so that you need more football to get a stun on the Hunter in the first place. So back then you could use like 5% of your football and it would count as a stun. But nowadays if you use 5% football, you hit the Hunter and it doesn't stun them. But you still stun yourself. So nowadays you need more football. That forces you to use more. That's going to be less balloon rescues. The biggest reason why forward is not good like he used to be though is not because of those nerfs necessarily, because he was still pretty popular even after the nerfs. The biggest reason why is because of the types of hunters that were played. Opera Singer was a big one, but also Shadow ruined him. Go-Man ruined him. Hula Baloo, you know, he's fine against Hula Baloo, but it really depends if you get hit by the red early or not. It became really hard to use forward, and even when it wasn't, hold up, we could help him survive here. I'm hoping he survives. I don't actually know if he will. Hopefully he uses his balls. Maybe he has a flywheel. I don't know where he is because he's not pinging. I'm assuming the patroller ran out at this point. Could be that the stun wasn't necessary, but maybe it is necessary because, I mean, he probably ate at least 1 patroller bite, so then that's the stun basically canceled it out. Happens to be that Forward is one of the best survivors against Dream Witch, so we did get very lucky here, but nowadays you don't really see Forward because the Hunters either have too good of a mobility to chase you away and then go backwards to their target before you can even football them, or the survivors just die in places that you just cannot kite. Like a lot of Hunters nowadays, they need specific kiting areas. Like against Wax Starters, if the person died by pallets, that's not enough. You also need your target. Oh man. Bro, that's the second time this stream that this Dream Witch surprised me with a leech right behind me, so close. Okay, so I had to waste a little bit of football there, unfortunately. But anyway. She still could be watching me. It doesn't mean that, just because we don't see the leech marker, doesn't mean that she's not waiting for it to pass the cipher and hit me. Because she can see that the cipher is shaking. And she can see where her leech is, so I'm still going to get off the cipher. But anyway. As I was saying, nowadays, even if people die in areas where Forward can kite in, it has to be specific areas. Like against Wax Stars, if people die by pallets and those pallets are short walls that he can hit you with his wax gun, then it doesn't matter. You can't help that person. You're going to die if you try to help them. And then you're going to have 2 knockdown people in the same place, and that's not good. That's kind of why Forward fell off. Either because you need very specific kiting areas nowadays to survive against these Hunters. Because of how close range Forward works at, he needs a good kiting area against these Hunters. He's not like Batter, he's not like Cowboy, who can work at a distance. And he's not like Wildling, who can just protect literally anywhere. Well, Wildling is probably nowadays the best harasser, because with Hunters that are so strong and so mobile nowadays, a survivor like Wildling becomes very difficult to actually deal with. So if you're wondering why Forward is good against Dream Witch... No! Whew! I predicted that! Let's go! Well, that wasn't good. I was ready for a stun, but that didn't work. Hey there. How you doing, homie? Do we have a cipher or not? I can't help you. Sorry, boy. Oh, I might be dead now. Note to self. Focus on the game, not say hi to your teammates. Are we screwed now? I think we're actually screwed now. Because now she's going to chair both of us. Oopsies. Anyway. The reason Forward is a good survivor is because you can stun that leech on chair. Man, there are 4 leeches here. That's crazy. Because you can stun... the leech on chair, and that forces her to have 2 leeches out of chair so that she can't use one of them to harass. We're actually going to struggle free here, unless there's a chair right next to us. There is not. Okay, nice. We get away this time. Okay, so my mistake didn't cost us that much, thankfully. But a Miki goes down anyway. I also need a leech remover. I need to remove this leech at some point this game. Follow me, boy. Over here. I'm assuming she has like some progress on her leech, or it's almost primed. But it's more important for me to get rid of my leech. That's my leech as well. Nice. Honestly, it would probably be best to just pop now, but I do want to grab a leech remover before we pop. Alright, that's fine with me, because we can now de-leech anyway. As long as we don't bring these leeches to the cipher, we're fine. We remove leeches so fast nowadays. Dream Witch used to be an S tier hunter. Funny that we're facing a Dream Witch, because she used to be S tier. That's part of the reason why Forward was S tier. A lot of it is, involves meta. Just at the meta, Dream Witch is just a good hunter, and Forward does a really good job against her, But they've nerfed Dream Witch so much nowadays. Oh, I forgot we have that. And I feel so powerful. I feel so powerful that we have that. I need to vault this. Otherwise, the leech is going to break. Does that still hit? I should have just ran with it. I thought we could vault it in time. That's my bad. I thought we could run with it and vault. But I should have just taken the speed boost. That was my bad. I thought the faster fall would be enough. That's just me not playing Forward enough. If I played Forward, I would know we were not going to make that. I think we still get a tie at least. Yeah, at least you still get a tie. We didn't have much football anyway. So yeah, nowadays Dream Witch has become really hard to win with because when one person dies, people deleach so much faster. They made it so that once one person dies, you just deleach so fast. You self-leech so fast. Not when you help deleach other people, just when you deleach yourself. So she's become a lot worse because of that. The end game is so much harder with Dream Witch. It's almost always just a tie. So pretty much it's basically like a waste of every survivor's time. Is essentially what I'm saying. It's basically like playing Anne. Like everyone just gets +1, +2, +3. Like who cares? That's basically Dream Witch nowadays. Man, this is going so slow. We're over half the session in. We are past half the survivors, is the good news. But man, there's so many S tier survivors. How many we got left? I don't think we'll finish it all today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There are 4 survivors that I wanted to play that are good in today's meta that you guys can be playing today. Because obviously, who cares that the old survivors were S tier if you can't play them nowadays? But I do like going over like the old characters and being like, hey, did you know this survivor could do this at some point? And you're like, no way, Mercenary had 5 ult pads? No way, you couldn't travel through reason portals? No way, Mechanic got 43% faster because she was actually a mechanic back then? Yes. She actually knew how to fix machines back then. She kind of lost that knowledge along the way somehow. But anyway, yeah, we're going to have to do a part 2 probably. Anyway, dude, we're still on the second page of the book, and honestly, I count this the first page. I would count this the second page, and then this the third page. But in terms of number of pages, this is the first one. We're on the second one. The next one's gonna be Prospector. Guys, when Prospector released, oh man, he brought in like a whole new era of Survivor for the Survivor side. There was no Survivor that did what Prospector did. When he released, when did he release? He released February 28th, 2019. Guys, not even a year into this game, and there has already been multiple S-tier survivors released in the game. A lot of them you can still play today. Either they used to be S-tier and are now just okay or very difficult, or they have still stayed S-tier or have been buffed to become S-tier. I would say Magician nowadays would be an S-tier survivor nowadays. Like, he's great against Goldman. He's great against Shadow. He's good against Opera Singer. And hopefully you're banning Hula Blue, but he wouldn't be as good against Hula Blue, I suppose. But he's good in general against almost every hunter, so I would say he's S-tier. Like, in terms of just a survivor that you just want to play anytime, I would call that S-tier for rank. Just no matter who the hunter is, you don't know who the hunter is, what survivor should you pick? I would say Magician is a great cutter for that. But Prospector released February 28th, 2019 in the China version, but it released March 14th in the global version. Back then, when the game first came out, there was like 3 weeks delay between what China got and what global version got. Over time, they eventually fixed that delay. Nowadays, I'm pretty sure China and global are on the same update. If not, China's like a week ahead. But back then, they used to be ahead quite a bit, so they always had like more content than us. So there was actually a good reason to have a Chinese build back then, or Chinese version of the app, just so you could see what's coming. You know, just so you can play around with what's coming. If you even had the clues for that, where that is, because you had to buy back then. You couldn't. There was no such thing as single training back then. Remember when Little Girl was first released? I'm actually not putting her on S tier, because she was only good in one scenario. Was there anything else about Little Girl that was like really that amazing besides attaching to someone immediately after a rescue? I don't think so. And when Little Girl dropped, Mercenary already had 3 elbow pads left. It's not like she dropped when Mercenary had 5 elbow pads left. And it is pretty expensive to have to commit your elbow pads like that. It was pretty good, but you also have 2 people kiting. It was a pretty good strategy, but I didn't like it because you still need like a specific team comp. Not everyone really played Mercenary. I would say if more people played Mercenary and Wildling, not that Wildling was good back then, but if more people play like strong rescuers, Little Girl would have more purpose. I was the only one playing Rescuer, really. But it was really good when people did it. It's just you also needed someone who was good at the game. And guys, how many Rescuers do you see still have 3 elbow pads in the end game? Not a lot. So, Prospector used to be really good a long, long time ago. I was hoping she would attach to me so that we immediately remove 20. Man, this sucks. Okay. I guess we're not vaulting that now. He's probably going to go after the Acrobat. Is he? He's still chasing me with the ghost. Man, that sucks. Actually got me with the ghost. Is Blink up? Blink is not up. Problem is, we're not really gonna survive here. Because she can use the ghost. And now we're gonna die to Blink. We haven't even used a single ability yet. Please don't attach to that person next to me. She did. Nice, we can mind game her now. She still can't attach to me. So we're doing a good job stalling here. Okay, she's trying to mind game me. What? BS. Complete BS. Actual BS, bro. She can attach to me now is the problem. Man, we're not gonna survive this ghost. Is this enough? I don't know if... Nice. Well, Gardner had to take a hit, and it was also no recovery hit now. Well, that's why I didn't drop the ballot, because of Blink. I mean, well, she can't attach to me. Man, this is kind of rough, because we did do a good Kai, but 2 times we ran into someone else's Cypher. We did still get really good progress. The reason I'm not too worried is because if you run into one person Cypher and you're doing a really good Kai, the other 2 guys are still decoding. Like, even though we did lose that factory Cypher, it's not like we lose the decode progress, so once she leaves it, we just go right back on her. She might go on me, actually. No, she's not. Too bad that it's in the Cypher, man. I gotta break it. Thinking of doing this. Maybe we can bait her? She might be tempted to teleport here, thinking that I'm just decoding. No, she doesn't. We gotta be really careful here. It really sucks that that gravestone happened to be on top of the Cypher machine, barely. I'm not sure if you can actually cancel a hit with the magnet once you're already stunned. I don't think you can, now that I think about it. The Gardener took a hit for us, but it was a no recovery hit. See, it's kind of tough, though, because it's also not that hard to avoid a body block at the end of the day. So if we didn't throw that magnet out, she's not forced to swing immediately. I don't know, hard to say. Because if we don't use the magnet, then she easily walks around and hits me, you know? No, she's gonna go after me. Well, we're just dead. And BS, absolute BS that this kind of hunter exists. It's very similar to Blood Queen or like Dream Witch Blink. Like if you just don't pick a good survivor against Blood Queen, you just die to a single mirror once you're out of health. Dream Witch, you die to a single blink. Man, it's really salty. I hate when they add hunters like this. That there's just like, yeah, just hope you dodge the ghost. Stupid hunter design. I absolutely hate it. At least go, man. There's always a chance. Plus, he's a fun hunter to play. Like, that's BS. Like, you just immediately get a hit. And then there's this chair shock BS on the chair. It's probably gonna go down. No, he survives. Pretty much the only... Are we gonna die here again? We're gonna die here again. Oh. She chose not to kill me. Okay. So we can do a Cypher for now. That's cool. Yeah, we're just gonna die later, though. We're just gonna die later is the problem. Dude, maybe if I go in like a perfectly straight line, we can prevent the 20. It is possible, but it would be way easier if we would be playing like on keyboard or something. It's really easy like on a joystick to go slightly to the right. You don't even know when you go slightly to the side, and that's what causes you to get 20. Let's see, maybe we'll avoid it. Oh, she doesn't even go for me. She actually went on the wrong tombstone. She doesn't even get her full presence. But she has a blink. Yo, thank you so much, Creamy Michi, for the donation. For the $1.99, I really appreciate it. You're donating a lot, man. I'm hearing this donation message way too much than I should. Thank you so much, my man. Can we at least pop the cipher? Nope. I enjoy being dead. Being dead is my hobby. At least we're not dead immediately, I guess. Cipher boost? Okay, wait. Which side are you going on? No! I looked at her. Oh, we're dead. Bruh. Too bad. Yeah, too bad. I wish we could ban Shadow, because this is such a toxic hunter. This is so stupid. Such a stupid hunter that you just die like that. Yeah. Anyway. Long time ago, I never even got to why Prospector was S tier back then. Basically, the reason Prospector was so good back then was because he got a lot of small nerfs. He got nerfs to his healing speed. He got nerfs to how long a hunter gets stunned, basically. Because they made it so when a teammate's nearby, the stun is less long. But the main one was the distance. I'm pretty sure Prospector, I can't remember for sure because I didn't play Prospector, but I'm pretty sure Prospector used to be able to use the magnet from way further away. Like, the magnet would trigger way further away than it does now. So, that made Prospector a lot worse. But he was still pretty good, and he was still used for years, and honestly, you could still use them. Psyche, please use your protection cards. There's no point using them. There's no point using them. If you only lost -2, that's actually considered a really good thing. Because this is probably the least amount of points you can lose for a loss. I would be using them for like -7, -6, maybe -5. But like, as you can see here, I rarely lose even -5. If we ever lose a match, I'm usually performing well enough to even get points. Even though, if I'm being honest, I didn't do that well this match. -2 here. We should have won this, by the way. That should have been a win. Who am I kidding? That's why we got -2, because we did do a good Kai. Like, we got -4 here. Like, I don't lose more than -4 most games. I just don't have a good use for my rank protection cards. Should I just reduce my expectations? And just be like, okay, I'm never gonna lose more than -4 because I play too good. Should I just be that cocky and play like that? Be like, oh, I'm never gonna lose more than -2. Let me use the protection card. That's why I'm not using them. Because -2 is actually considered like basically, that's basically a tie. That's why I'm not using them. I don't lose enough to spend them wisely. I have to lose a lot to actually spend them, but I never get to use all of them because I don't lose a lot in the first place. And I'm not saying I don't lose a lot, I'm just saying I don't lose a lot of points. I probably do lose a lot. Anyway. We'll use the rank protection card when we do like a really bad kite. Even then though, usually I'm doing tie-worthy kites and we'll tie the game. And at that point, if we don't tie, then someone messed something really bad. Because usually I'll do a tie kite. And at that point, well, you can't use rank protection for ties. So... it's tough, because if I'm the first kite, I'll usually do a tie kite, regardless of my survivor. Unless it's like a really bad situation, really bad area. Or I don't get chased and we lose the match, but because I didn't die really quickly, and I was doing other things that match, like decoding, like rescuing, those all give points, so then I end up losing like plus, I don't even end up losing, I get like +1, +0, +2 sometimes if I get dungeon. But yeah, it's tough. Like you basically have to do a bad first kite to get good use out of your rank protection card. You used to dream about IDV matches. Every once in a while, I do get an IDV match dream. I get like ideas from kiting routes sometimes in my dreams, but not really anymore because they don't really drop new maps that often. Or I've just played all the maps enough times to know. See, here's a survivor that we might not do a Taikai with. Here's a survivor that we might not. Enchantress used to be an S tier survivor. In terms of probably the most powerful survivor that has ever come out in this game, it might be Enchantress. It might actually be Enchantress. She used to gain stacks while she was inside of Tide Turn. She already got hit. She used to gain stacks if you were dying in Tide Turn. Like nowadays, if you took a lethal hit in Tide Turner, you do not get a stack for that, even though I think you should. But you used to get a stack for that. If you healed someone, it would the buff would permanently stay on them so that every time they got injured, you would get stacks for that for the rest of the game. It would never disappear. You used to be able to use the stacks further away. You used to get stacks probably faster since you were able to get stacks from further away. Logically speaking, you know, if you're further away from the hunter, you're still getting stacks, right? And because of the fact that you're able to also use stacks from further away, there was the most OP thing that has ever existed in this game, and that is the balloon rescue strat from a floor above you. She was the only survivor in the game, besides maybe Prospector, but even Prospector, you needed a way to throw the magnet on the hunter. She was the only survivor in the game that was literally able to stun and free survivors a floor above you. Doesn't matter if it's hospital and they're on the second floor. Doesn't matter if it's basement. She was able to stun you from no matter where. But I think the biggest thing out of all of that, if any of that doesn't seem overpowered to you, then I think the biggest thing that was broken about Enchantress is not even Enchantress herself, but a game mechanic in this game. Before they patched it out and they changed the way it works. Back when you freed a survivor from balloons, you couldn't knock them down until they fully got up on their feet and they finished the animation of being freed from balloons. That's the way rescues used to work back then. It used to not matter, because when you had survivors like Forward, the stun was very often as long or longer than the freeing animation. Or if it's a good Forward, they're just going to stun you before before you get fully picked up in the first place, right? And then there is no freeing animation. But because of the existence of the freeing animation preventing you from taking hits, Enchantress was able to purposefully let the hunter fully pick up so then you could stun them and free the survivor. And because they were in the balloons, they have to go through a balloon animation. And for the next 5 seconds, you couldn't hit the survivor. They were just staying alive. If you try to swing at them, it's like swinging at air. They would just not take damage until they fully pick themselves up. And that is what made Enchantress so extremely broken. That she completely changed the game. Prospector was the first one, but then when they dropped Enchantress right after Prospector, it just made it 2 times worse. Like, Prospector already did that, where he did like a tiny stun in balloons, and then the hunter just has to wait out the freeing animation. But then Enchantress just made it 10 times worse. Oh, he predicted attack, so he does survive. Even right now, he actually survives. If he gets hit right now, he actually survives because of the shield. Okay, now he won't. But Enchantress just made it 10 times worse. Because she could do it on a floor above, and she could do just tiny stuns that she gained back very quickly. If she healed anyone every time that person gets hit. Do you guys see where this is going? If you healed the person that is now getting tunneled, and they die above you, every time they get knocked down, you give Enchantress a stack. You free the survivor, they have to get hit again. Because the buff to stacks is permanent because you heal the survivor, then Enchantress gets another stack. You free the survivor, they have to go down again, then knock them down, then Enchantress gets another stack. And that was probably the most busted game the most busted thing that ever existed in this game. Extremely broken. I don't think I've ever seen anything as broken as that. Where you would just, if you ever managed to heal someone, and then they died in like basement, or like anywhere where there's like a height difference, the Enchantress just goes above the height difference. Like, what do? Do you go after the Enchantress? Do you go after the Enchantress and move her out of the height? What if it's hospital? Do you go all the way up and let the person self-heal? Like, what do you do? It's not like the Enchantress is gonna die in hospital if you go chase her. It was insanely broken. It was insanely good. And this is, if I'm being honest, you didn't even need to do this extreme combination of like having to heal the person earlier and now they have permanent stacks being given to you every time they get hit. No. Because you still gain stacks on floors above you. If there was a height difference between you and the hunter, it still counted it as if you're right next to the hunter. So you just still get stacks extremely quickly. So if I'm being honest, you still didn't even need to heal the person to get infinite stacks. You essentially got infinite stacks. Just from existing, just from playing, just from being above the hunter. If there was a basin rescue going on, you would be gaining stacks as it's going on. Right below you. It was insane. It was insane. Enchantress was the most broken thing. With that being said, obviously, a lot of the things that I've mentioned don't exist in the game anymore, so you guys can figure why Enchantress is not really a good survivor anymore. But I will say, they made it so that she starts with 1 stack. Who cares? Literally, who cares? It's not gonna make her that, like, end of the world. It's not gonna make her a top-tier survivor. Not even close, honestly. So, yeah. With that being said, Enchantress obviously does not get stacks from heights above her. She obviously does not get infinite stacks after healing a teammate anymore. She obviously cannot use stacks from far enough away to use it on a floor above the hunter. And she obviously cannot use stacks on different floors for that matter. I mean, it's... Enchantress is a hollow shell of herself. She's nowhere good as she used to be, but I will say she was, in my opinion, the strongest survivor that ever existed in this game. And it's kind of ironic, because now she's on the lower end. But man, was she broken. She was, by definition, auto-pick. Biggest auto-pick you could think of in this game. Miki might get chased here because he's going to give tinnitus, so I wouldn't be surprised if this hunter just went after Miki now. Yup! Hopefully no detention. Yes! Nice. He's actually preventing her from using her ability. Change to go protect 9. No, not even necessary. What would I do with a single stack anyway? I can't even use it from far enough away. Anyway. Enchantress. We played her just to play her. We just decoded all game, which I'm fine with. Honestly, I'm happy the hunter didn't go for me because that could have been dead real quick. Nice and easy game. Ended up tying that. I don't think I counted the loss last game, so I'm thinking it's 3. We did lose 1 this match. We lost 3 on this account. This should have been a win. So we lost 3 for sure. We did 2 wins on the alt account, and then we got 1 tie. So the wins need to be +2, whatever we got on this account. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we should have 6 wins. The tie should be +1. 1, 2. 1, 2, and then the tie should be 3. Unless we tie 2 times on Stinky. Let's check Stinky. Let's check. No, we won twice. So we just have 3 ties. We won twice, we tied once. So we have 3 ties. Record starts from here, by the way. So we have 3 ties, and then 3 losses. Breaking she. I always call breaking wheel a she, because it sounds like a bunch of old ladies laughing to me. I don't get how they're the Will Brothers. Maybe they're like the transgender Will Brothers. But they don't sound like brothers to me. They sound like old ladies. Yeah, Wheel was the most broken hunter ever. There's been a lot of characters that have been like on ridiculous levels of brokenness. Wheel was Wheel the most broken hunter ever to come out? That probably goes to Opera Singer. Because honestly, at least with Wheel, there were certain windows. I don't think there was almost anything in the game that could counter Opera Singer well. But Wheel was insanely stupid. Wheel was on the same level as Shadow Full Presence is today. Like, once he gets Snap, it's pretty easy to put 2 spikes on a survivor, and, yep, just snap them away. That was also before Flywheel existed, so, yeah, you can forget that. Anyway, we're done with the stunners. Dude, this was such an interesting time in IDV meta. This was like Season 7, Season 6. I think it was Season 5, actually. Season 5, I'm pretty sure. Or Season 4, maybe. No, Season 4 was Dreamer. Season 5 was Prospector, Axeboy, Enchantress. Those are the characters that released that season. Yes, there were 3 survivors in a single... There were 3 characters in a single season. You heard that right. But anyway, The next survivor we're going to be playing is Acrobat. You guys all know Acrobat. Acrobat's a great survivor to this day, and he probably still is S tier to this day. But when he first came out, he was one of the worst survivors in the game. I love saying that. He was one of the worst survivors in the game. Why? Because the roll did not exist when you used the ball, so there was no rolling after you jumped. But even bigger, you weren't able to move while you held the ball. You literally had to stay still. So yeah. Extremely good survivor after his buff. They have done multiple nerfs to him after his rework, but I'm glad they didn't just straight up kill him, like they kind of did with Painter. Like Painter, it's hard to say who is more strong, Enchantress or Painter. Painter was also really, really broken. I got a whole video dedicated to when Painter first released. That was a good video. But man, listen, I just play the characters because they're stupid broken. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, Acrobat's still a great survivor, but I don't know what it is with me. Oh, it's Photographer. So if we die this game, it's not because we did a bad cut. It's just because he's cheesy like that. Give him a box of Cheez-Its. Think about what I said. Acrobat is going to be a great survivor to this day, but he was even better back after his rework. Because after his rework, he was able to not just jump and, roll, but he was also able to get a white ball after doing 100% of a Cypher machine. He was able to put stronger debuffs on the hunters. It really took him that long to find me. He was able to push stronger debuffs. So back then, the white ball, mud ball, red bomb, they all debuffed the hunter for longer. I don't remember how long. But especially if you hit them on the head with the ball, it was especially longer. Like, mud ball was like crazy slow. White bomb was crazy, as well, similar. I can't remember exactly what they changed at this point. But back then, Acrobat wasn't just his ability to, it wasn't just his ability to jump and roll. If I'm being honest, he doesn't even necessarily need the debuffs, and we got unlucky. Cool. Alright. Sometimes this is gonna happen with Photographer. But back then, it wasn't just the debuffs. It was mostly the rolling. They did nerf the roll, made it a lot less. Maybe not like a lot less, but definitely if I had to say what was a lot, it was definitely them over time heavily nerfing the debuffs. Like the mud ball used to be a lot slower if you throw it on the hunter's head. Like it was so good. Like if the hunter's in recovery and you want to support someone, you just throw it on the hunter's head while they're in recovery, and that would be really good. See I don't know about that helmet, bro. That's not a good helmet, because if you get a shield, you're still gonna get injured here. Okay. I don't know what the point of that helmet was, because did you notice that how when he touches a chair, the predictions disappear? Waste of helmet. But anyway, that's like elbow padding to the chair against Photographer. What are you elbow padding to the chair for? It's the exact same idea. Bro, we just got Weber's Law. Even though we've been on chair, and we're actually dead on chair on top of that. I feel like we're screwed this game already. Tear shock like that? Forget it, man. We're not rescuing me. Dude, Miki just got hit by one of the slowest swing hunters in this game. I don't know if he's the slowest. They did buff his swing speed a couple years ago. Was it years at this point? I don't even know. Yeah. No, he actually did rescue me. I'm still gonna go down here. He's gonna have time to chair me. He also has faster pickup. He picks up 20% faster, I noticed that. Why are we doing such an early rescue? Okay. Cowboy can survive. Question is, can the other guys survive? I don't know. We definitely gotta heal up, though. Resetting is the key right now. Decoding is not it right now. We don't have enough decode products to just rush these ciphers. We need a reset here. We need to play things slow. I'm gonna save the self-heal here. There's no rush. It's not like I'm gonna do the cipher machine anyway. If anything, I want to stay back here in case he uses the camera so he doesn't find us together. So yeah. We're just gonna chill here. We need a reset. You ever flick up on the joystick and it does absolutely nothing? It was a little bit unlucky that you touched the chair the exact same time he swung. It does happen. What's up, Saggy? What's up, Father Milk? Welcome to stream, man. Yeah, let's see here. Maybe we can still come back this match, though. We'll see. It is Photographer at the end of the day. No, he's still on him. He might just chase him until he gets blinked back, honestly. But it's nice that we reset at least, so... At least that way we're not gonna die if we need to go rescue. But they're still near her. Wait, that's right next to me, though. I don't know if it's camera world or not. I'm gonna assume that they're just getting chased real world. Yeah. Oh, she died in camera world. Nice. So that now he can't even really chair her. And also that was his blink, by the way. On a survivor that's not knocked down. Now, if I had to guess, he's probably just going to check on the cipher. I don't really know, but I would love to finish the cipher here on time. We can still finish it before the camera world ends. Oh, I don't know if Miki will be able to finish his. We do have accelerated. Okay, he got chaired right over there. You can't... Nope, not right there. Right over here somewhere. You can't see it on the map. Maybe you can see it on the map. I don't know. I haven't checked. But you can see it on the mini-map if you just look in the top left. You can see where the chair icon is. We should have 2 ciphers here that we can work on. Okay. She's not dead on chair. That's only her first chair. Camera world does not count. Is Miki not working on that? Does Miki know we have another cipher machine? I can't see Miki. Where is Miki? Oh, he's going over there? Dude, that cipher better at progress. Otherwise, there was no reason to walk that far away. It does! Miki's a genius. Thank you for catching that, Miki. We're actually in a decent position now, because even if he goes down, Miki can take over the cipher. And I'll go rescue. And Cowboy will stall a little bit, you know. It'll help Miki finish the cipher faster. Or not faster, but give him more time. I am dead on chair here, so we do have to make sure we don't go down here. I'm pretty sure he has Blink, so we have to play around Blink. We have to use our abilities early, or if we can put a firebomb under him, that would be best as well. I could have stunned him there, but I'm going to save the pallet, because we anyway have a cipher primed. Make sure that he cannot blink me here. He has to go around it. There we go. He literally could not blink right there. He could have blinked over it, but I'm pretty sure we would have made the window then. Would we? I'm not sure, but... I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure we would have made it. But if we use a mud bomb there, then, you know, then he can just... I guess mud ball will, I guess, do the same thing. I guess ice bomb. Well, no, because if he blinks after me, after the mud bomb... No, actually... Also, she went down, unfortunately. Okay, the bad news is that he teleported on the gate. The good news is that he has no blink. The bad news is that he did find a better target than me, and yep, he's gonna go down. Man, that sucks. We would have kited him to hell right here. 2 balls, 2 white bombs. One of them would have been really good on these windows. And of course the mud ball would be very good here. Or here would be good as well. Although not really, because these stairs kind of block you. As so, you see. So you can't really do that. You have to do like a small jump. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to win this game. But at least we tied, even though we had a really bad start. Alright, let's mark that down. Alright, man. Acrobat, very strong survivor. You could argue that maybe he never deserved a nerf. But when he did get nerfed, he got very small nerfs. He's still a very good survivor to this day, so Feel free to play him, guys. Maybe still an S tier survivor. He probably is still an S tier survivor. It's like you're scaring the children. Thank you so much, Creamy Michi, for the $1.99 for your troubles. Really appreciate it. It's like, why don't you use the wheel form for your things? Because I learned this game not using the wheel form. You can totally use the wheel form if you want, but I started off not using it. Didn't even know it existed, to be honest. And I just memorized where my pings were. Without even having to read what I'm sending. Just memorize what part of the screen it's on. And just click where it is. Usually I'll at least read it, but if it's something like I'm kiting, I've pinged hunters near me so many times that it's just natural. I don't even need to spend time reading. Oh, it's Creamy's birthday today? You're 2 years old now, Creamy. Congrats, man! Everyone give Creamy Michi a round of applause. Happy birthday, Creamy Michi. We have very close birthdays, actually. I just had my birthday 3 days ago. Holy, that was a horrible start, yeah. At least we freed ourselves from that horrible start. We almost won that, but... I don't know. Something happened at the end game. Someone died tragically. Don't know how. I'm pretty sure Blake got fooled by the card trick, and that's how he died. I completely you completely misunderstanding, chat. You're turning 19. Well, you said 2 earlier. 2 years old. Listen, I know you're not 2 years old. Happy birthday, Michi. Listen. Alright, anyway. Hula Blue Goman, obviously. The next survivor we're going to be playing is Entomologist. This was another really broken survivor. I don't know if it's as broken as Enchantress, because Enchantress helped literally the whole team. But Entomologist, a long time ago, probably had, in terms of low skill kiting, probably had the worst of that. I mean, Enchantress is pretty low skill too when she existed. But why was Entomologist so good? Why would I give Entomologist so good as an S tier? Back then, the way Entomologist worked is that when you placed your bees, and the hunter hits your bees, okay, so your bees are at half health, and then you bring the bees back to you, to your body, it would heal the bees. So you would essentially have 6 uses of bees with no cooldown until your whole ability broke. And that was the old Entomologist. That's basically everything that made her broken. After that, you know, Entomologist has not really been changed as much. They did recently make it so that cooldown is significantly shorter, and they also gave her way more bee usages. Meaning that when the hunter hits the bees, you lose less bees now, meaning that you can use it to body block more hits. I think an extra 1 hit, if I'm remembering right. Or was it 2 hits? I don't remember. It's at least 1 extra hit now. But back then, the whole reason Entomologist was so good was because you use your bees, you drop your bees, she swings at the... Or not a she, but the hunter swings at the bees, right? And then, before they swing a second time, you refresh the bees back on yourself and you heal them. And then you repeat. You do that again, you drop them, you pull your bees back. Yeah, you can also pull your bees when you're down, but I really don't care. That's not going to make Entomologist a top tier survivor. But that is true. Anyway, I never play Entomologist anymore. Not because she's a terrible survivor, it's just because of Blood Queen, really. If Blood Queen didn't exist, I would play Entomologist more often. Ooh, a really late swing from her. But yeah, if it weren't for that, I would definitely play Entomologist more often. I do think she's a good survivor, it's just Blood Queen, man. Blood Queen really ruins it. Anyway, happens to be that Entomologist is like one of the best survivors against Anne. Whew. I almost went for the confined space window and that would have cost me a hit. Let's try this new kiting area. Is the buff enough for me to get my bees back? It is. Can we survive here though? I'm not so sure. Ugh, that's not that I think so. Nope. Taking that stun to the head. Oh, she's leaving now. Are you gonna hit my bees? No? Okay. You thought the bees were over with, huh? Oh no, they didn't go this way. I'm gonna just leave the bees there, because if you ever go in a circle, they'll be like, oh, there's bees there. That's essentially like a pallet, because now the survivor can take the shortcut and just go around the long way, or swing at the bees. Oh man, she's chasing Knight as well. Knight is also going to be very difficult. The only advantage she has over Knight is that at least Knight has a decently long cooldown on his ability, so that when you cancel ability, the ability to stop her ability only lasts for 5 seconds. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. But basically, Knight can only stop abilities for 5 seconds, and he needs 13 seconds to get his ability back. So, and will always get hers back in, like, what? How many seconds less? 13 minus 5, 11, 10, 9, 8. 8 seconds. So, there's going to be 8 seconds where he has to deal with cats with no ability of his own. I'm just going to leave the bees there for now. If we need them, I'll bring them back to myself. I don't even think they got her one time. Hey, the second bees weren't that amazing, but it did end up still allowing us to survive. It forced her to do a really awkward dash. Honestly, I think she did a mistake there. I don't know why she removed the bees. Sorry, I don't know why she removed the cats. That was really greedy of her. She was really greedy there. If she was confident that if you're confident in the hit, what you should do as Anne is remove the cats so you start your next cat cooldown. But only do that if you know you're gonna get the hit. If you're gonna remove the cats early and still not get the hit, then you should have just let the cats stay up and then you would have gotten the hit. You're scaring the children. Saki, do a Flee the Facility stream for my birthday. I'm not doing that. I played Flee the Facility. I'm just not going to do that because I don't enjoy the game. I think the game sucks. But I know what you're talking about. For those who don't know Flee the Facility. Flee the Facility is basically the Roblox version of Identity 5. But you take one hit. You die in one hit. So you just... You can't do anything about campers. And there's nothing wrong with camping. You know, that's how Identity 5 is played. I don't think there's anything wrong with camping. It's just that freaking you can't do rescues because you die in one hit. Also, there's vents, which you can go through, but the hunter cannot. Like, imagine a window, but only available to survivors, and the hunter cannot vault it. So then it's just an infinite exchange of going back and forth, and the hunter cannot do anything about it. Do they need my help? Shoot. They might need my help. I hope they don't need my help. On Lakeside and Moonlit, you really want someone on your gates early. Because of how annoying of a map it is to walk to. Or not to walk to, you're not going to walk to the map. Interesting, imagine if you could, like, travel between maps. But anyway. No, walking to the gates is going to be what's really annoying. Yo, there's no sound for opening the exit gate. Okay. I don't know if that's a bug with the skin. This skin actually used to have a bug on chairs. The skin used to have a bug on chairs where when they changed the chairs to have the booster seat instead of iron thorns... Not the team, just thorns on this chair. There used to be thorns on the chair that the hunter would place on the survivor. So if you're wondering why none of the chair animations line up, it's because Chinese laws forced them to change how you chair survivors and put a booster seat on there instead. And now none of the hunter's animations line up, except like anything after Percy, I think. Because I think it happened after Percy's release. Anyway, where was I going with this? Shoot, where was I going with this? I forgot where I was going with this. Does anyone remember where I was going with this? We talked about Flee the Facility, then we talked... Oh yeah, there was a bug with the skin, where it used to be that the survivors would squirm a lot more on the old chairs, and because when they added the booster seat, they made it so the animation, like, the survivor's barely moving. It's like they're sitting like a statue. But for some reason, there was a bug with this Entomologist S-tier skin, where it didn't affect her. She was still moving as if it was like the old chair. They changed that now, though. We didn't get chair that game, but they did change that, so it's not like we would have seen. Anyway, we won! Hooray! Entomologist is one of the best survivors against Anne, so that's great for me. One of the worst against Blood Queen, though. She does move faster when traveling in her bees. But if it's a good Blood Queen, they're just gonna mirror on top of you and hit you anyway. Painter. We got Painter next. I love Painter. Painter to this day, every once in a while I'll do a stream on Painter and say he's like an underrated survivor. But I'll never actually play Painter because he dies to Blood Queen really bad. But Painter used to have 3 paintings. That's the long story short. That was the main reason why he was an S tier survivor. He had 3 paintings. But the other reason was that you couldn't see where the painting was. Nowadays, there's like a circle around the painting showing, like, you can essentially use it as a hunter to figure out where the painting is without having to look at it. Like, you can figure out, oh, the circle's this big, so once I walk this far into the circle, looking backwards, I'll know if the painting's right next to me or not, so that I know not to look at it, right? That used to not exist back then, so the hunter would just have no idea where the painting is. It's a complete guess. And it also used to have no range. So as far as I know, the hunter could get pulled from very far away from the painting. There might have been a range, but it definitely was way further than what it is now. And again, Painter used to be S tier because of those triple paintings and the fact you couldn't figure out where the painting is. But now he only has 2 paintings. And now the hunter can also avoid it easier because they can figure out where the painting is based off the circle. But there is another thing with Painter. Every painting you drop gave you a speed boost. So by making it so that he only has 2 paintings, that means that he doesn't get 6% movement speed anymore. He can only get 4% movement speed anymore. So it was like, by nerfing his paintings, they essentially nerf his movement speed. And so it was like a kind of a double nerf for Painter. But Painter used to be an extremely busted survivor. I have a whole Painter video dedicated to it. You guys should check it out. It's an old video, but I think it's really fun to watch what the old Painter was like. Old Painter had. So stupid. They have since made Painter better. They've made it so like you don't have to paint a full painting to drop it. They made it so you can paint the painting without having to see the full face. They've even made it so that you can paint the painting and vault stuff. You used to not be able to vault stuff. It used to be that you had to literally let go of the painting like a second early. Because if you didn't, then you'd be stuck in like the animation to put the painting down before you could even vault. But none of those buffs ever got Painter back to where he was originally when he first came out. The triple painting was too good. It was essentially like 3 flare guns. Except that it literally was 3 flare guns because Hunter could never figure out where the painting was. So they're basically guaranteed to look at it. And yeah. He was good long ago. And I miss it. But I'm not gonna lie, it was really broken. As broken as Entomologist, as broken as Enchantress, no. But still really broken. So at the end of the... we read him like a book! Got him. Because at the end of the day, at the end of the day with Painter, you still need to grab their face. Even when he had 3 paintings, and that was the hardest part about him. Just getting that face. Nope, paint the painting. Do we get his whole face? Yes, we do. He uses blink, okay. Just gonna break it now. If he ever uses the umbrella, we have this painting with his name on it. Maybe we can mind game him. That's good enough. He can also see where we are, so we have to be careful here. Here you go. Enjoy. Alright, hopefully this guy will drop the pallet for me. Thank you. Oh! Thanks, Miki. This is why I don't trust my teammates. We're gonna die now. Oh, he actually canceled. I don't know what he canceled. What did Miki cancel? It wasn't an attack, because he's right behind me. Well, I guess at least we still have the pallet. I'm not so sure if I'm happy about that. I'd prefer to not touch the umbrella because it does make you very slow. Not a hit. Sorry. Oh, we're going to be able to make the pallet now. Are we? Yeah, we will. Miki. Oh, Miki! He still got hit because the, He can actually see where I am right now. Okay, now he can't see where I am, but he can probably figure that I'm right behind this wall. So that debuff right there at the top left, keep in mind that the Wu-Ching can see where you are when you have that debuff. You also move slower, and you also vault slower. And like you saw there with Miki, you also drop slower. So when it's exactly Black Wu-Ching can actually swing. And if he touches you with the umbrella, then he can actually swing in again fast enough. Because when he uses the umbrella, Wu-Ching's first swing is also faster. Well, that's rest in peace, that guy. I just saw the umbrella go right past me. That's not me, homie. Anyway, we definitely should heal up right here. I'm gonna heal Miki up first. Because he is the rescuer. But I would also like to get healed, because it is Wu-Ching at the end of the day. And we're also not really in a rush, you know. We've not had anyone on chair. This person kiting right now is not dead on chair. I think we should have time to heal up without him having to use the coffin. I will tell him Knight go rescue, so hopefully Blake does not use the coffin. He knows, so that way he knows someone is rescuing. So yeah. Miki should be able to make this no problem. He might only have one helmet left, depending on if he kited early game or not. But he definitely used one to help me. I wonder what Miki predicted right there that helped me survive. Oh. Because he didn't have any abilities to use, but the hunter was still right next to me, so it wasn't an attack, because an attack would stun him temporarily, like 1 second long. I'm sure he'll tell me later, after the stream. To be fair, let's be fair here. I probably shouldn't expect the guy working on the cipher to drop the pallet. Okay, he's gonna like overshoot the umbrella because I went behind the tree. Like, I probably should not because it's not like the cipher is right next to the pallet, so that's my bad. Should still get it. Yeah, you got it. I have to be careful here, because if he uses full presence soul siphon on me, I can't pop the cipher. Okay, he's breaking a pallet. I can't see him. Okay, I can see him. He's just swinging. This guy is in a really dangerous area. He's probably going to go down here. Focus on decoding. Right as I'm about to say it's a dangerous area, he is not interested in a recovery pop. Alright, that's alright. Maybe as an owl, I still would have taken the hit, though. Just because, you know, recovery. Now, the nice thing about Painter is that we can indirectly save this other person's life with a painting. Do we necessarily have to? Not really. It's an embalmer. He'll be fine. He also used Blink. I'm curious if he gets off the gate here. I'm not going to use my painting. We don't exactly know where this Wu-Ching is going to show up. He is going to opt to stay on us. Okay, so he's going to leave the Seer as is. We'll communicate with our Seer. He'll pick himself up. Uh-oh. Okay. He'll pick himself up. He has to choose who he wants to go after. We're going to give him Tinnitus here. We don't even have to give him Tinnitus, actually. We don't really want him, because it's safer if we don't give him Tinnitus, you know. In terms of a 4-man, it might be better to give him Tinnitus. In terms of just a win, we probably don't want to get Tinnitus, because now we just walk out. He doesn't know that anyone's here. Dungeon is not at merry-go-round. I should have checked if Dungeon was behind me right there while I was there. I can't really, though, because I have to walk around. To walk to gate, walk near the pallet. He's just going to give us the 4-man. Did he use the umbrella? Go to second stop? He might have gone to second stop and just watched the guy disappear. So we didn't get through all the survivors today. But we can do a part 2. We can do a part 2, and we can do like a more modern. This was like all the ancient survivors. After this, we're going to get into like the survivors that nowadays, you can still use them, and they're still pretty good. Maybe one of them I would say don't use, like Batter. I don't know if Batter was still worth using, especially because he can die to Blood Queen. But yeah, we still got a couple other survivors here. And we'll definitely do a part 2 to the stream. We get plus 14 points for that. Cool. So yeah, painter there was obviously incredible, but it's honestly because we predicted that umbrella, and after that, he just has nothing to stop us from creating the next few paintings. The blink was good, but after that, he didn't have much going for him. Did he even have insolence? I don't even know if he had insolence. Did he have insolence, that Wu Cheng? Alright, overall, pretty good session. What can I say? We should have won the mechanic match. I know I crap on mechanic a lot, but mechanic deserves some respect here. We should have won that mechanic match. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 survivors left. We'll do that next stream. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we had 2 wins on the alt account, which I'll count. It was part of the stream. And we had 1 time the alt account. 1, 2, 3. That doesn't count. That was yesterday. 4 ties, and we lost 3 times. So overall, on this exact account, we got 6 wins and 3 ties. But together, we got 8 wins and 4 ties. Pretty good, especially with like ancient survivors like Enchantress. Prospector, too bad. We could probably do better if it wasn't like something like Shadow. But all in all, pretty decent session. Not bad at all. We probably could have won this game as well, though. This right here in this Dreamwitch game. And maybe the Photographer game as well. Anyway, guys. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. We will be back for part 2. Because we still got other survivors here. And you know what? I'll throw in Gravekeeper as well. Because honestly, Gravekeeper's only gotten buffed. And I do think Gravekeeper has been slept on for a long time. So, like, whenever Mercenary was banned back then, it's just auto Gravekeeper. And Gravekeeper always did well. Like, it's almost never that Gravekeeper did bad. And then they dropped Wheel, and Gravekeeper's just even better. So, and that was a time when Gravekeeper didn't really get a lot of buffs. And again, Wheel was around that time. First drop, most OP Hunter. Most OP at that state when Wheel first dropped, and yeah, I'm gonna put Gravekeeper on there. We'll do Gravekeeper as well. I would still consider Gravekeeper S tier, honestly, even to this day. His only weakness, honestly, I would say is probably just Opera Singer, which at the end of the day, you can still probably get a tie kite with Gravekeeper against Opera Singer. You know, 4 hits is a lot. Anyway, let's open up these essences. 8.7k inspirations. 8.7 or 9.7. We're going up in the world. Real ones remember Psyche reaching first Mercenary and Gravekeeper without ever tricking the book in the reverse. Bro, who cares about that? I don't think anyone cares. We'll do 1 2v8 match. Yeah, my only weakness is Terror Shock on chair. I can't stop the Clerk Terror Shock on chairs. It's impossible. Did I miss any donations? Happy birthday, Michi. Hi, Psyche. What's up, Joseph? Welcome to the stream. My man, my man. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming in. How do you know what, Psyche? How do you know Michi isn't maxing out her parents' credit card to spend lunch? I hope not, Michi. Michi, are you really 2 years old? You might actually be 2 years old and maxing out that credit card. No Tide. Yeah, we had no Tide on that entomologist match. I don't even know what's going on. Because we had Knight. You don't need Tide on Knight. It's pointless, actually. Because how are you going to get a second rescuer? You're not going to get a second rescuer with Knight. You're not Mercenary. You can't take 2 hits. The only way you're taking 2 hits is if you get lucky with the predictions and predict something and then predict nothing. And that's not counting the fact that what if Hunter Terror Shocks you in your shield? Which hopefully that doesn't happen. Or what if they wait out the shield and you were waiting out for their swing? Or even if you do rescue, since the shield only lasts 4 seconds, they could just wait out the shield and then hit you. just to prevent you from rescuing twice. That's why Tide on Knight is pointless, unless you have a way to heal you up. Like Psychologist or Barmaid, those are the most reliable ways. But even then, I don't recommend it, because you don't know if Psychologist is going to chase. You don't know if Barmaid's going to get chased. And after that, Tide on Knight is not going to be good, because you're going to use your Tide Turner. The Tide Turner doesn't allow rebounds. It only guarantees 20 seconds of Kite, and then you die. But the Knight Shield can allow a rebound. And it also doesn't force you to have to use your hands to rescue. That's another thing of not running Tide on Knight, is that sometimes you might get caught far from chair, and you'll be forced to use the long-range rescue, and then it feels so stupid using a long-range rescue for your shield when you have a shield and they have Tide Turner. Like, it's pointless thing. Like, why are you using the shield and Tide Turner? Sometimes you have to do that long-range rescue, and you have no choice. In which case, it'll feel really stupid to use Tide Turner and the shield. So that's why we don't run Tide Turner on Knight. Not to mention that rescues are getting chased a lot nowadays, so it's actually beneficial to run a kiting build on the Knight. How do you feel about Journalist? I don't think Journalist is worth using. If you're using her as a kiter, she can be okay on the good pallets. She can be really good on the good pallets, actually. Like Shack pallets, Hospital pallets, Arms Factory pallets. Any pallet that the hunter cannot really walk around and they have to deal with, it's very good. But there's few pallets like that in the game. A lot of pallets involve combining a bad pallet and a window, using them together to make a good area. It's very rarely just one pallet doing the job, or like one window doing the job. So I don't recommend Journalist. And it's not just the kiting aspect, even the rescue aspect. There's just rescuers with stronger kiting abilities than Journalist. So if you want someone to get dungeon escapes, kite escapes, you should be going Mercenary. Mercenary, I believe, also has an easier time doing multiple rescues, because Journalist, you only have one little bro. Not a fan of Journalist, just because there's just better rescuers, but it's not like she's the worst character in the game. You can still use her. Hello? Is Mickey playing? This spot got buffed, by the way. This does something now. Street Sweeper does something extra now. Oh no, it's not Street Sweeper. It's a Giant Claw. I think if a survivor struggles out, something happens. Oh, everyone's decode is reduced for like 8 seconds. Who cares? I like the default painter skin. I actually didn't like that 8-tier one that I originally had on. I switched it because I didn't like it. And I'm looking around, I'm like, default. It's like that SpongeBob meme. Alright, I really doubt we'll find someone out middle, but we can try. I'm certain this Mickey spawned by someone. Did no one spawn here? I told you that someone is in this direction. Oh, Mickey's not interested in double teaming. Okay. He probably thinks I'm following him. I'm not following you, Mickey. Sorry. He didn't drop the pallet. Okay. I would have dropped that against Wax. Oh, you slow him down there? Because of Addiction? Dude, Addiction made that prisoner stun so short. We can shoot over that. Come on. Maybe we can fool him? Nice! We do fool him. Maybe I didn't even need the wax stir. I probably didn't even need the wax stir. That's my bad. I'll break this. We don't have any wax on him. Even though it's not that bad to keep him there. He went around. Okay. Does he have window boost? Doesn't look like it. He might have had window boost. I don't know. He kind of went at a really strange angle there. 3, 2, 1. He has more football again? Okay. It's too late though. Okay. We live in a society, I guess. I'm not going to chase him because we got a Cypher right here to protect. Unless she's already leaving. Did she already leave? Okay. Alright, we'll just get pills then. We have enough for 2 right now. We'll get this, and we'll get agility. It does increase pickup speed, which is going to be handy against forward. Now, if I had to guess, she's probably around that corner. But for now, I can help out Miki. Actually, no. We got to camp at this point. We get a lot of points for the solid wax drop as well. 600, so... There is an extra point in trying to get solid wax drops on top of survivors. It does cost a lot of wax though, so you don't want to do it too often. If she stuns me here, then she slows down the prisoner and also stuns herself. We can't shoot over this wall, unfortunately. We gotta like lure him here. I'm still not stepping in that. Any forward nearby? This guy's probably not going to expect faster pickup speed. Okay, well he saw it now. If he's watching my outline, he definitely saw that. But yeah, it's so nice, because it's essentially like faster pallet breaking, but applied to literally everything. Vaulting, literally everything. What can I say? Did we wax that? Yeah, we did. Okay, and you're right here. It's funny, she still gets slowed down even though the only guy nearby is prisoner. Chair this guy. Miki did chair one person at least. Do we also chair people faster? Maybe. I wasn't watching. They already popcorn. Speed pill, and I'll definitely get rage. This is definitely a mode where you're gonna get stunned a lot. We'll teleport to chair later. We'll just stop the ciphers for now. He has to walk into that wax. Okay. Can we still hit him in time? No, sadly. Alright. It is what it is. I mean, they have to rescue. I got no tonight's right now. Maybe it's like forward footballing right now. They also could have speed pills, so they might just walk here faster. Yeah, what did I say about the forward? Told you. He did not flywheel. I don't even know if he has flywheel back. He did have flywheel back. He made me hit the chair. Oh, yes! Free recovery! We also have some hot wax on him already. Does he want to use his ability here? I think we can hit him here. Nice. I'll chair this guy first to start his chair timer. And then we'll chair Enchantress, and someone has to still rescue Enchantress while we're waiting out forward. 2 ciphers, though. Gonna try to stop that. That's a tough shot. Hopefully we get it. We do get it. Nice. It's also a really nice chair, just in general, chair survivor zone. It's very hard to rebound from this. We got 2 survivors here. They have to come for the Enchantress. If they don't come for Enchantress, then I just conveniently camp forward next. Oh yeah, that's too late. Alright, so we'll camp now. Oh, I'm not interested in rescuing. Okay. Still gotta make sure they're not doing like a back-end rescue here. I do want to stop the gate right there. Dungeon is here. Okay, cool, we hit her. Dude, she takes so long to rescue, I think we'll actually be able to still kill her. Cool, got him. Unfortunately, we still got one more chair on this forward. Oh, you know what? Then we should have chaired Fair Lady first. My bad. Let's see if we can stop the gate again. There's a too late. He's still working on it. No, I don't think so. I gotta go pick up this guy ASAP, though. Oh, there's another guy here, though. We have tinnitus. Dude, I still can't leave. Terror Shock? Yes! We actually might 3-man for 8K? 8K! There's my 8K here. That's a fake. We don't have to pick her up anymore, because she used self-heal. Who died first? I think you died first. No. Acrobat died first. That was actually wrong. I couldn't remember the skins. Alright, there we go. Lucky Terror Shock there. Cool. He calls my eater once again here. Yes! If Inso works for you, it works. Oh, that's a big brain explanation right there. Since it makes downs easier, and he can use his pickaxe for mobility, so I don't think it's... I think I read this message out of context. Anyway. Yeah. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today's stream. Thank you so much to Miki, Blake, and Snapple for joining me. Also to all you guys donating. I definitely didn't expect Tato to come on here. I really appreciate it, Tato. Alright guys. I don't know what to say. You got me sentimental, man. You got me in the feels. Bringing back the old days. When you still used to do that. Alright guys. Oh, right. Am I ever going to play Flee the Facility? I don't think so. I played it one time. I have played it before. I know what you're talking about. But it's just the worst out of any 5. You can only take one hit. And there's vents that the Hunter can't do anything about. It's also very glitchy. I don't know. There's not a stable connection. Sometimes you'll swing at someone and they won't go down. Anyway, guys. Thank you guys. I'm new at playing Hunter. Haven't played in a while, so I don't think what I should carry. Alright guys. Yeah, don't worry. There are Hunter Persona guys out there. I think Ellie has one. Ellie_O. But yeah. To Geisha. I'm not going to be doing streams just because of people's birthdays on me. But happy birthday still, Kurimichi. I appreciate it. Maybe... no. I won't do Geisha stream. I'm not going to do Geisha stream. Alright guys. Thank you so much for joining. I will see you later. Take care, guys. This has been Psyche. Peace out, everybody. Oops, that's the wrong one. And Miki. Miki's also peacing out. Take care, guys.